of the world's most popular artists.
Yes.
Very dashing,
He's
fit gentleman.
Say what you really mean.
59. He's hot. He's still got it. He's a legend.
Taken this morning.
Well, he's Sting. Hello.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, we're going to chat with him this morning in New York. Can't wait.
Can you believe that he's 59?
No. No, he looks great. That's what yoga and Pilates does every day for you.
Yeah, being a rock star. Now, also this morning, should taxpayers buy gym memberships for overweight Australians? We'll ask that a little later on Sunrise, but we're going to begin with the big story of the day, the Qantas strike. We have comprehensive coverage this morning with reporters at airports, but we will begin with Nat. Good morning, Nat.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Good morning. More than 6,000 domestic air travellers are facing major disruptions today, with Qantas ground staff launching nationwide strike action. The Transport Workers Union last night refused to call off the 4-hour strike. Baggage handlers and catering staff will be among the nearly 4,000 staff involved. Qantas is expected to cancel 28 domestic flights and delay another 27 by around half an hour. Passengers are being advised to turn up to airports as planned, but to expect delays. Support for the Gillard government has fallen to a record low, according to the latest news poll. Labor's primary vote has slumped to just 26%, falling 1 point in the last fortnight. The coalition dropped 2 points to 48%. On a two-party preferred basis, the opposition has maintained its strong lead, ahead 58 to 42%. Despite a drop in support for the government, the Prime Minister's satisfaction rating has jumped 4 points. Tony Abbott's personal approval rating has fallen 5 points to 34%. New South Wales rural firefighters have spent the night at the scene of a bushfire in the Blue Mountains west of Sydney. The fire broke out near Leura late yesterday, threatening a number of homes. Crews attacked it from the ground and air and managed to bring it under control. Firefighters kept a close watch on the blaze through the night. Investigations are now underway into whether the fire was deliberately lit. American President Barack Obama has unveiled plans to cut the country's deficit by nearly $3 trillion. As well as big spending cuts, his scheme would see an increase in the tax paid by wealthy Americans in order to meet his ambitious target.
If we're going to make spending cuts, many of which we wouldn't make if we weren't facing such large budget deficits, then it's only right that we ask everyone to pay their fair share.
Republicans say they will fight the proposal, accusing Obama of waging class warfare. 3 years after launching the world's cheapest car, an Indian car manufacturer has unveiled a much pricier version. This jewel-encrusted nano covered in more than 10,000 precious stones. How good does it look? It's set in 80 kilograms of gold. Well, the original model usually sells for around $2,500. This one-off showpiece, estimated value $4 million.
You'd leave that in the car park, wouldn't you, at a shopping centre?
Makes petrol seem cheap.
Amazing.
Finally.
Yes. Funnily enough, we have a petrol update in just a sec, but first the finance figures. The Dow Jones has closed 108 points lower. The Nasdaq finished down 9. In London, the FT 100 lost 109 points. Germany's DAX fell 157. In our region, Japan's Nikkei gained 195 points. Hong Kong's Hang Seng dropped 537. The All Ords closed 66 points lower yesterday. The ASX 200 down 67. Commodities, gold is trading at $1,779 US an ounce. Oil $85 a barrel. Aussie dollar buying 102 US cents. 78 Japanese yen, $1.23 New Zealand. And this one's for Matt. The national average petrol price rose by 1.7 cents a litre to a fresh 4-month high in the week to September 18. Craig James is at ComSec this morning. Morning to you. What do these price fluctuations mean, Craig?
Well, Nat, it really shows that you've got to watch everything at the moment if you want to know where the petrol price is going. As you mentioned, the oil price is down, but unfortunately the Aussie dollar is also down. We buy a lot of our oil from overseas, so that lower Aussie dollar is bad news for motorists. If the Australian dollar had remained around about $1.10 where it was in late July, then we would be paying less at the petrol pump, around about 4 to 5 cents a litre less. So we've got to watch the oil price, and we've also got to watch the Australian dollar if we want to know where the petrol price is going. And we've also got to watch the pumps, because they're a bit crazy at the moment. We've got prices in Brisbane, Adelaide and Canberra, they were up by 5 cents a litre in the last week, but places like Hobart and Melbourne, they had lower prices. I don't think the oil marketing groups want us to know where the prices are from day to day, and the simple message, as it always is, shop around.
Oh, there you go. You heard it from Craig James at ComSec. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
It's time for sport. Here's Moritz.
Nat, good morning. Thanks. 6 Collingwood players have been named in this year's All-Australian side. Scott Pendlebury, Dane Swan and Leon Davis return to the 22-man squad, while it's a first for Ben Reid, Dale Thomas and Travis Cloke.
We've got a massive team of Hawthorn Friday night to come across, and they're in good nick, so it's going to be a great opportunity for us to play some good football.
A stomach bug meant Buddy Franklin wasn't on hand to pick up his 3rd All-Australian award, but he will be at the MCG on Friday night. Injured Broncos skipper Darren Lockyer is expected to return to training today with 3 titanium plates inserted in his face. Lockyer remains confident of playing in their grand final qualifier against Manly on Friday night, and coach Anthony Griffin wants him to make a call tomorrow. Meanwhile, Storm coach Craig Bellamy says he isn't worried by his side's recent poor record against the Warriors. Phil Hughes has answered his critics with a well-timed century to put Australia in the box seat in the 3rd test against Sri Lanka. Hughes went to stumps on day 4, unbeaten on 122, and Australia leads by 52 runs at 3 for 209. Gee, I reckon Darren Lockyer's got to be almost a sure thing to play against your boys, Matt.
Oh, see,
Don't think
not
so?
prepared to
Oh,
call it yet.
Builds the legend. We'll wait and see.
Can the legend get any bigger?
Pretty good.
More than happy if he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's risky.
All right, let's check out today's weather. Where are you, Grant?
I am standing.
Nice. Stay that way, can you?
Piedmont Bridge. Piedmont Bridge is where we are this morning. I just had a little bit of a brain block. It is early, stay with us, folks, but I will get on top of it through the rest of the morning. Hey, yesterday we were talking about that change it's moving through to start to drop the temperatures down. Strong wind gusts through, well, South Australia, Victoria, Tasmania, into New South Wales yesterday. We predicted about 90 kilometres an hour. Someone did. And how much was it? 90 kilometres an hour. Spot on, thank you. GD. More points to be scored today. The good news is that change as it moves up towards Queensland will start to push away a lot of that smoke haze that's really been plaguing that southeast corner of Queensland. But we'll talk about that more in detail throughout the morning because we have another 5 crosses to go. Let's have a look at the forecast right around Australia.
Sunrise weather brought to you by Claritine. Be prepared and live Claritine clear.
Clear skies across Queensland today, 29 for Cairns, some early fog and 25 for Mackay, 28 for Rockhampton and on the Sunshine Coast and 30 for Brisbane. Sunshine at 28 for Burke and Coffs Harbour. Sydney, a mostly sunny day, top at 27 degrees. A possible shower or 2 for Canberra and 18 showers and 15 for Albury. Partly cloudy and 20 for Mildura. For Melbourne today, showers clearing, 17 degrees and a few showers for Launceston and Hobart with 16. Adelaide, a shower or 2 and a top of 19 is the forecast high. Showers clearing and 21 for Ceduna. Sunny and cooler for the Alice, 26 degrees. Afternoon cloud for Katherine, 37, and Darwin, partly cloudy, and it's always the same, 32. And in Western Australia, a shower or 2 for Bunbury and a top of 20, a few showers and 21 for Perth, partly cloudy and 23 for Kalgoorlie, sunny and 31 for Karratha and Exmouth. So the footnote for today is those strong winds are persisting as they head more up the east coast of Australia towards Queensland. See you in under half an hour.
All right, mate, we will check in then. Coming up later on Sunrise, music legend Sting will join us.
The next Qantas workers strike, the hefty peak hour delays when we come back.
Our final 12 have performed live. Tonight, Australia decides who goes on and who goes home. Plus, Brian Adams and Jet Midget performing live on the X Factor Live Decider tonight.
The floor you've been searching for, now at Choices.
Are the stars Introducing McCain Ultra Thin. Crispy, authentic, ultra thin crust pizzas, topped with fresh, real ingredients. McCain, you've done it again.
Paper is great for cleaning up spills, but would you use it on your baby's delicate skin? Did you know Australia's leading baby wipe is made from paper, while Johnson's baby skincare wipes are made from soft wave fabric? They're strong yet cotton soft and gentle on newborn skin. Plus, only Johnson's wipes are enriched with one of Mother Nature's own moisturising ingredients to protect their baby's soft skin. Johnson's baby skincare wipes.
What's new where you see it first?
The new Samsung Smart TV. Immerse yourself in a world of endless entertainment. Experience Samsung Smart TV at Video Pro.
Peri peri chicken, peri peri chicken, peri peri chicken, chicken sub. Peri peri chicken, peri peri chicken, peri peri chicken, chicken sub.
There's a new sub at Subway restaurants.
Peri peri chicken, chicken sub.
Made with tender grilled chicken and tasty peri-peri sauce.
Peri peri chicken, peri peri chicken.
So it's big on taste, with less than 6 grams of fat.
The new peri peri chicken sub.
For a limited time at Subway restaurants.
Right now, it's easy to spot a great deal with Holden Red Plate deals, like the Series 2 Captiva 7SX petrol auto from just $34,990 drive away. Now with bonus side steps and sunroof across the Captiva 7 petrol range. Hurry in for Holden Red Plate deals while stocks last. Go better.
Well, Qantas workers are preparing to walk off the job. The strike is due to start in just under an hour and it's meant to last for 4 hours. Now, the airline has warned the disruptions could affect flights for up to 2 days. 3,800 staff, including baggage handlers, ground staff and caterers, will all stop work as part of an ongoing dispute over pay and conditions. Now, Qantas says it has been forced to cancel 28 flights and delay a further 27. More than 6,000 passengers will be affected.
All right, let's find out what is going on this morning. Joining us now, our Sunrise correspondent, Edwina Bartholomew at Sydney Airport, Nuala Hafner's at Melbourne. Morning, Eddie. Morning, Nuala. Let's start with you, Eddie, at Sydney. Any signs of chaos yet?
No chaos yet, Matt, with about 45 minutes to go until this strike action starts. Things are running pretty smoothly in terms of passengers, around 6,000 passengers affected, as you mentioned, but most of them have been notified by text message or been able to check the Qantas website that their flight has been cancelled or delayed. But there have been some disruptions with staff. There are around 50 baggage handlers just sitting on the carousel over at T2 here at Sydney Airport. They claim that they've been locked out by the airports, by the airline since they arrived at work around 5 o'clock this morning. Qantas says it's not a lockout. Those staff will be paid for the shift from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. when this strike action is supposed to start. But they say they had to bring in their contingency plans. They had to bring in other staff to cover that shift. This strike action goes from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the west coast, 7 a.m. till 11 a.m. on the east coast. So chaos expected at many airports around the country, guys.
Yeah, well, let's see what's happening in Melbourne. Nuala, you're there. Have we got people arriving? Are they a little angry at disruptions yet?
Well, so far so good. I think it's a case, as Eddie was saying, is forewarned is forearmed. So far you look at the flight departures and arrivals board, no massive cancelled, no massive delayed. Everything is running as well as it can be expected. But a similar story with the Transport Workers Union members at the arrivals carousel. They've been locked out as well. They arrived to start their shift at 4:30 today. We're told you're not required. You can start work again once the strike action finishes at 11 a.m. So the so-called walkout isn't going to happen. It turns out that Qantas has made that preemptive strike, so they're just going to sit around till 11 o'clock. But yeah, quite calm. Nothing like the scenes we saw. You remember the ash cloud, all that chaos and disruption, and the Virgin Blue or Virgin Australia now glitch that we saw earlier in the year when you just had people strewn about the airport everywhere. Lots of tempers, lots of irritation. So far, so good, but the strike actually technically hasn't started yet, so I could eat my words.
Well, there was chaos yesterday at Sydney Airport for a different reason, a security breach. Somebody walked through the gates the wrong way. Edwina, this is a totally different story. This is Action. Just give us the background. Why are Qantas workers striking?
Yeah, the Transport Workers Union, so the workers associated with that's ground staff, baggage handlers, catering staff, they're seeking a 15% pay rise over the next 3 years, as well as extra superannuation. And also the sticking point for negotiations has been that they want casual staff to be paid the same as permanent staff. Now, Qantas says they simply cannot compete if they abide by those demands. They say that their baggage handlers and their staff are paid more than the equivalent at Virgin. The union says, well, they posted a profit in August of $250 million more than last year, so they should be able to afford it.
Yeah, all right, we're going to have a chat to Qantas shortly to find out some more details on that. Nuala, just briefly, contingencies in place. What's happening then to make it all flow?
Yeah, well, obviously Qantas wants to limit disruptions as much as possible. That's meant bringing in bigger aircrafts with more seats on the busier routes, particularly between Melbourne and Sydney, where there have been, I think, 14 flight cancellations today. Also, and this is a bit of a controversial move, apparently they're bringing in workers that are normally in management roles and getting them to fill into the transport workers union roles. So that's meaning, you know, ground staff or catering. Apparently, some of the senior management have been trained in the US to do those roles, so guiding in aircraft and such. And the TWU has actually said that if that happens, they may consider taking further strike action because they're not too happy about it.
That'd just inflame it, wouldn't it? All right, Nuala, Edwina, pardon me, thanks both very much, and we're going to chat to both the TWU and Qantas in our next hour.
Stay put, Nuala and Eddie. So the strike begins in around about 45 minutes' time. We'll keep checking in. Still to come, what's really in your food? The dodgy labels hiding colours, preservatives, and even worse.
But next, the PM and her partner doing it under the Southern Cross. Has the ABC gone too far?
In Logan, or wherever stories break, 7 News is Queensland's #1.
I just got out of hospital after having knee surgery. The doctor says it'll be at least 2 months before I can go back to work. Want to know why I'm still smiling?
It was hard to keep on top of my bills when I was off work for 3 months with a sudden illness. Do you want to know why I'm still smiling?
Mary and Paul are both smiling because they've got income protection cover. With Real Insurance, you can secure an income replacement benefit of up to $10,000 per month, which you can use to keep on top of your living expenses.
If you're a working Australian resident, age 18 to 59, you can apply over the phone and there's no paperwork required.
Cover is affordable, starting from just $1 a day.
Knowing I can recover without financial stress? That's what keeps a smile on my face.
And don't forget, you'll get back 10% of the premium you've paid after the first 12 months of your policy.
To apply for cover or for a quick quote, call Real now on 1300 153935.
Bob Jane T-Marks was built on friendly service, expert advice, the largest range and value for money prices. With tyres from a low $65. See our catalogue or website for red hot deals.
The 7-seat sensation Mazda CX-9 is only a family car when they're in it, and all about you when they're not. And the SUV that spoils the parents now spoils you with great drive-away prices. Mazda CX-9.
Roll out the best buffalo for your home with Sapphire. Sapphire is one of the best performing buffaloes but has a much finer leaf so it looks beautiful and feels great. Make an impression with your lawn and roll out Sapphire, the best looking buffalo.
The new Samsung Smart TV. Immerse yourself in a world of endless entertainment. Experience Samsung Smart TV at Video Pro.
Oh! Sorry, we're still working on our accuracy.
How's the house hunting going?
How did you... Oh, clever.
Let me guess. You're thinking that between work and family, you never really get the time to sort through your finances, figure out what you can afford, and you're thinking it shouldn't have to be this hard.
ANZ makes home loans easier, with more specialists available to help you anytime, anywhere.
Now you're thinking definitely something with a big yard.
What do you call these?
They're sweet potato super fries.
What's wrong with normal fries?
Nothing, but these are made from sweet potatoes, rich in vitamin A.
That's good.
They're all good, Dad.
McCain Sweet Potato Super Fries. Ah, McCain, you've done it again.
Be inspired. Great ideas, captivating stories, top columnists. Be entertained by Brisbane's best read, BMAG, the magazine that provides a world of information to the people of Brisbane. In your letterbox.
What's making news brought to you by Beacon Lighting. Save up to 50% off absolutely everything in store and online. Sale on now.
I'm not going to mince my words. I didn't like the song. I didn't get the cloak. I think, Natalie, you should be really worried about tomorrow because I think her voice is so original and folky. I didn't really hear her best ability in that song, and I think you as a mentor should have done way better with her and with what she's wearing.
I'm sorry, Nat.
Don't listen to her.
There you go. No love lost between the judges on X Factor last night. Mel B and Nat clashing there over Cleo in the cloak.
Ronan Keating told us that was going to happen. Well, I mean, he didn't tell us it was going to happen, but
They're quite fiery.
Yeah, they were ready to go. Yeah, it was interesting last night how the judges, they weren't turning on each other, but they were frank, because they've been so frank with the contestants. They were frank with each other.
Yes.
Don't think you did a good job, not good song selection.
But then when Reese came on, they all loved him. He's my fave.
Oh, really?
Yeah, loved Reese.
Let's check him out. All right, we might maybe play a little snippet later or something. Okay. Making news this sunrise, a new low for Labor. Today's news poll has the ALP's primary at just 26%, down 1 point. So just over a quarter of voters would back the Gillard government if there was a federal election now. But Julia Gillard has had a small bounce, with more voters satisfied with her performance. Opposition leader Tony Abbott shed 5 points in the satisfaction rating, but he remains preferred PM. We're going to put that to him in our next half hour. And still on Julia Gillard, the controversial satire At Home with Julia has brought the ABC under a bit of fire today. In an upcoming episode, the PM's character is seen canoodling on the floor of her office with her partner Tim Matheson, draped in the Australian flag. Now, the national broadcaster is defending the use of the flag, while monarchists say it's going too far and it's just not funny. So is this disrespectful to our PM? Is it disrespectful to a symbol like the Aussie flag?
Which isn't supposed to touch the floor, is it?
No.
Exactly
right. Correct.
Yes.
Touch the ground,
And it's draped across the ground like that. Bit controversial, I think.
So technically it is disrespectful, but boy, it's a funny show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Last week we showed lots of snippets and thought it was funny. I don't know about this. Could be a bit much for me.
Well, I think using the flag obviously means they want controversy.
I love the bloke who plays the first bloke. It's great.
This was funny. And the journalist outside. I thought that was hilarious.
All right, share with us. Is it disrespectful? Speaking of canoodling, a new survey says some Australians want to canoodle 3 times a day. Even more.
Choice. 3 times?
Apparently.
A day?
A day. If you're in a new relationship, apparently.
Well,
that's your preferred option. But only a small minority are canoodling as much as they'd like. 37% of Aussies consider canoodling 3 to 6 times a week is ideal. And just 16% of those in a relationship and 4% of singles are having as much canoodling as they want.
A tricky subject, well dealt with, Mel.
Yes, beautifully negotiated.
And what's a new relationship? Define new.
Yeah, well...
How new is new?
Well, how long is new?
How long does new take?
3 months into it, still new.
And then it starts to wane.
Yeah, when
say?
3 times a day, you've still got to go to work and do other things. It's been practical. Well, okay, let's move on. Also making news this morning, goodness me, doctors have come up with a controversial treatment for overweight and obese patients. The Australian Medical Association is proposing that doctors prescribe gym sessions and personal trainers for larger patients, but taxpayers will foot the bill, with the plan allowing the patients to claim back the expense from Medicare. What do you think about this? Should we be supporting obese and overweight patients in this way as they attempt to lose the kilos?
I reckon anything to help cure or prevent obesity is a good thing.
Yeah.
But then
No matter
should
what
we
it
be
is.
helping those who already go and are of a healthy weight because they are not a drain on our health system because
Yeah.
they're doing something about it?
It's actually almost preventative, Mel, isn't it? You know, it's sort of it's tackling it while you can rather than waiting down the line when it becomes a big medical issue.
Yeah, because
probably a good thing.
we're all paying at the other
We're
end
paying anyway.
to treat obese people
Yeah.
who have lots more medical problems. So
Get ahead of the
sort of
game.
see maybe it is
Exactly.
a good idea. Yeah.
Take your medicine first.
Yeah, spot on.
And going viral today, the Taekwondo monkey. Take a look at some of his expert monkey magic moves. He's part of a primate research program at a university in Texas, and his trainers have taught him how to high kick, toe tap and defend and even break wooden boards. There you go. That's the sort of
Doesn't look
monkey
good.
you want
Yeah.
defending you. Yay. There you go.
So the problem about that is you actually got to train them. In that course, something's going to go wrong somewhere
And
along the
bananas
way.
are so expensive. as a
Bananas are
reward.
very expensive these days. Still ahead on Sunrise, Tasmania's Parliament set to become the first to vote in favour of gay marriage.
But next, news, sport and weather all together. You're watching Sunrise on 7.
Always a winner. Yeah, you're always a winner for me. Always a winner. Yeah,
Underage and undercover, the biggest police blitz on teenage drinking. Hundreds caught. The investigation police want all parents and teens to see. On 7's Today Tonight.
I like my designs to be stylish, flattering, beautiful. I want everyone who wears them to look $1 million, but I want them to be affordable. That's why I've made my new eyewear collection exclusive to Specsavers. And if you've got private health insurance with any of these companies like I do, you can choose 2 pairs of designer glasses from the $199 range, and your health fund will cover the cost. 2 pairs, no gap, should have gone to Specsavers.
Are the stars out tonight? I don't know if it's cloudy or bright, 'cause I only have
Introducing McCain Ultra Thin. Crispy, authentic, ultra thin crust pizzas, topped with fresh, real ingredients. McCain, you've done it again.
Car due for a service? Then make it a complete service from Midas for $139. Plus, if you're a new customer, we'll throw in 6 months free roadside assist. For your $139 complete service plus free roadside assist, call 13 Midas now.
Discount Drugstore's massive September catalogue sale is on now. Radiant Ultra washing powder 2 for $3. Nature's Own odorless fish oil capsules $15.99. Lifespace multivitamin liquid $29.99. Hurry, sale ends soon.
Discount Drugstores.
Imagine where life could lead if you won Oz 7 Lotto's $15 million jackpot this Tuesday. Live life. Play Oz 7 Lotto. Grab an entry in store or buy online.
Keith's doing up the spare room for our new grandchild. Well, they haven't actually told us yet they're having one, but they bought an SUV. So, over here is where the cot is going. Bath will be there, change table there, the powder dispenser and the towel holder. And over there is the naughty corner. Well, not that we'll need it.
What about the nappy changing robot?
That's unnecessary, Keith.
To celebrate Macca's 40th birthday in Australia, we're giving you a present. Our best tasting McFlurry desserts ever. The new double choc fudge, caramel cookie, strawberry crumble and delicious bubblegum squash.
This program brought to you by the Motorola Zoom on the Telstra Mobile Network.
Good morning, welcome to Tuesday. Dave Andrews in the Chilby Misso Sky Tracker 7. No accidents around at the moment, which is good news, but we do have really foggy conditions down to the south and the west of the city this morning, affecting the Ipswich Motorway, the Centenary Highway, even the Pacific Motorway, and all around Archerfield. Having a look at the Bruce Highway coming off onto the Gateway over the Pine River Bridge, very, very slow as you head down towards Deagon and Boondall. And Chilby Misso lawyers are now open on the Sunshine Coast, Browns Plains, Ipswich, Morayfield, Robina, North Lakes, and the Hyperdome. Details at chilbymisso.com.au. Another check next hour on Sunrise.
Well, later this morning, bushfires in Queensland and New South Wales and wild winds across Victoria. We're going to plot the day ahead.
Yeah, it's a busy day too. News time now. Here's Nat.
Thanks, Matt. The Gillard government has been delivered another blow, with the latest news poll showing support for Labor has slumped to a record low. Labor's primary vote fell 1 point to just 26%, with the coalition sitting at 48%. The Prime Minister addressed a business dinner in Canberra overnight, telling the Australian Industry Group she wants the Tax Forum next month to consider changes to the tax system.
The Tax Forum will be an opportunity to start to discuss options for a business tax system which supports decisions to change.
She says Australia needs to be sure its current system doesn't hold industry back. Strike action by Qantas ground crew will get underway across the country this morning. Baggage handlers at Sydney Airport were set to walk off the job at 7 a.m, but when they arrived to begin their shift at 5, they were told they wouldn't be needed. More than 6,000 passengers could be affected by the industrial action, with the airline expecting to cancel 28 flights and delay another 27 by half an hour. Transport Workers Union is pushing for a 15% pay rise over the next 3 years. But Qantas argues that's not possible in the current climate. The airline's advice to passengers today: turn up for your flights, but expect delays. And southeast Queensland will experience smoke haze today from dozens of grass fires burning across the state. Heavy rain earlier in the year has seen a dramatic increase in the fuel load on the grass plains.
So for the next few days in particular, there will be a heightened fire risk across most parts of Queensland.
The smoke haze in Brisbane is not expected to be blown away until Wednesday at the earliest. People with respiratory problems are being urged to stay indoors until conditions improve. 2 police officers have arrived in Kentucky to extradite the man accused of chaining a bomb to a Sydney schoolgirl. Detective Inspector Dave Ross and Detective Sergeant Andrew Marks will escort Paul Douglas Peters back to Australia. There is speculation he could be back in the country by the end of the week after deciding not to fight his extradition. It's alleged Peters broke into the home of Madeline Pulver before placing the fake device around her neck and fleeing. The Norwegian man who has attempted to kill 77 people in twin attacks will remain behind bars for now. He's been ordered to spend another 2 months in prison, half of that time in solitary confinement. Anders Breivik appeared in court overnight as judges handed down their decision. It's believed Mr Breivik addressed the court during the closed hearing. In finance news, the Dow Jones has closed 108 points lower. The Nasdaq finished down 9. In London, the FT 100 lost 109 points. Germany's DAX fell 157. To the commodities, gold is trading at $1,779 an ounce. Oil, $86 a barrel. The Aussie dollar buys 102 US cents, 78 Japanese yen, and $1.23 New Zealand. Time for sport.
This Sunrise Sport Report brought to you by Swiss. Tired? Stressed? You'll feel better on Swiss.
Broncos coach Anthony Griffin wants Darren Lockyer to make a final call on his fitness by tomorrow. The Brisbane skipper is expected to return to training today with 3 titanium plates inserted in his face. Lockyer wants to play against Manly but is wary of distracting the side.
Lockie's the number one advocate of this, is that the team doesn't get affected with the build-up.
The Seagulls are preparing for Lockyer to be at the SFS on Friday night. Gary Ablett has won the honour of All-Australian captain despite his Gold Coast Suns winning just 3 games this season. 6 Collingwood players were named in the 22-man squad ahead of their preliminary final against Hawthorn on Friday night at the MCG. Wallabies coach Robbie Deans will keep a close eye on flanker David Pocock ahead of Friday night's World Cup clash with the United States. Pocock continues to struggle with a back problem, while captain James Horwill has been cleared of a serious shoulder injury. A century from opener Phil Hughes has put Australia in the box seat going into the final day of the 3rd test against Sri Lanka. Hughes is unbeaten on 122, with Australia holding a 52-run lead at 3 for 209. Telstra's putting the call out to AFL fans to get behind their team and send a hero message during the finals. It's a great way to inspire your side as they strive for football's holy grail. The two best hero messages will win an awesome 2011 Toyota AFL Grand Final package. It includes prime seats at the big game for you and a mate, tickets to the Grand Final Eve dinner, and if you don't live in Melbourne, you get flights and 3 nights accommodation plus $1,000 spending money. To log on and get in the competition, go to telstra.com/AFL to post your hero message. What a great idea. All right, time to check the weather, and Grant is in Sydney this morning. Morning, mate.
Brett's great value in that package you just mentioned there. Speaking of value, air. We take it for granted. Do you think about air when you're breathing? When you're actually taking a breath and realising about the effects it can have on your body and the difference that good quality air can make?
Good point.
Because you know what? Startling fact, and it might be alarming. In fact, it could even be a good story on Today Tonight for Matthew. We only breathe in 21% of actual oxygen in the natural air around us. It's the rest of it's just full of junk, carbon dioxide and Brute 33 or whatever's out there. But you know what? There's this place that's just opened up where you can suck in 90% oxygen. It's a bar. This is a trend which is straight out of New York and Tokyo. It's now open here in Darling Harbour. And you can come in here and get yourself a fresh injection of oxygen, 90%. It has the benefits of recovering from hangovers, jet lag, improving your concentration, anti-aging. Benjamin Button uses this. That's how effective it is. He went backwards in age. But flavours everywhere, from cappuccinos to Mel, pina colada. That's actually what I'm having now. It's quite powerful. It's having quite an effect. Let's have a look at the forecast as we somehow improve our concentration.
Sunrise weather brought to you by Claritine. Be prepared and live Claritine clear.
Dry, warm and potentially damaging northerly winds are being forced into southeast Australia ahead of a front at the moment. We warned you yesterday, strong winds around 90 kilometres an hour in many parts. The active cold front is spreading a cooler change and a few showers into Victoria and Tasmania as well. Not a lot though, we're talking up to about 5 mils. Brisk westerly winds are generating some isolated showers over South Australia and southern WA too. Brisbane fine and 30 degrees today, clear skies, and tomorrow onwards they will remain. Mostly sunny and 27 for Sydney. Sunshine tomorrow and until Friday. Chance of an early shower on Saturday. A few showers and 18 for Canberra. Sunny until Friday. Some cloud about on the weekend. Melbourne, showers clearing in 17. Partly cloudy tomorrow. A sunny day on Thursday with some showers about though. Cloud cover later in the week. Hobart, a few showers and 16. Overcast tomorrow. Sunny conditions Thursday with some showers about for later in the week. Showers and 19 for Adelaide. Mostly fine tomorrow and until Friday with a possible shower again over the weekend. Perth, a few showers and 21. Showers tomorrow. Some cloud on Thursday. Mostly sunny on Friday and Saturday. Partly cloudy and 32 for Darwin. Possible showers tomorrow on Thursday. Some cloud cover for Friday and light winds are also on the weekend. $12 for 15 minutes and you won't know yourself. Yeah, my brain is just, it's clearer. I can just concentrate more. So it's back to you, Jeremy and Sarah.
Thanks, David.
Fantastic.
Keep that helium going.
Good, thanks.
2:30. What?
See you soon. All right. Hey, it's Jelly Bean time. The Dulux Jelly Beans and Me promotion is now on. So when you buy 8 litres or more of Dulux Wash and Wear or Weather Shield paint, you will receive a Dulux toy dog. Cue the toy... Oh, sorry, we've got pictures. Hang on one sec. Cue the toy dog. There it is. Thanks, Jack. And cutie jelly beans for free.
Terrific.
Can we swap?
Brett?
They're good, aren't they?
Plus,
guys?
you could win one of 5 Dulux home makeover prizes, including paint, colour consultancy, and 2,000 cash. All you've got to do is tell us in 25 words or less what your kids have tried to convince you to do. Daddy, go and sit next to Barrett's all day. That'll be fun. Go to yahoo7.com.au/sunrise to enter. Make sure you keep watching each day to see if you've won. You're scary, man. And congratulations to yesterday's winner, Michelle from Victoria. Her kids tried to get a party organised for a friend that didn't exist. But they just wanted the lollies and some fun things to do.
Smart kids.
I like it.
That's great. After the break, a new low for Labor as the border protection row continues. Tony Abbott will join us live on his solution for asylum seekers.
And driving out bad service, the cabbie crackdown when we come back.
I don't know if I'll make it, but watch how good I'll fake it. It's alright, alright.
Hot air balloons over Brisbane, once a common sight. Why the industry's now deflating, with some predicting it could go bust. Tonight on 7 News.
Right now, Toyotathon is giving everyone discounts usually aimed at big business. That means you'll get gold fleet discounts on a wide range of Australia's favourite cars, but only until September 30.
Good boy.
Protecting your pet with Frontline Plus unleashes a complete killing force against fleas and ticks. And not just adult fleas. Frontline Plus is the only spot-on that kills all stages of the flea life cycle and keeps killing all month long. It's water-fast and protects your pets and home from fleas.
That's why it's Australia's #1 flea and tick treatment. For complete killing, use Frontline Plus.
Oh my dog! A hot dog! I love hot dogs! There's a drink with it!
You had me at hot dog.
The delicious Donut King Oh My Dog deal. A regular hot dog plus your choice of regular drink for $5.95. Only at Donut King.
Oh my dog!
New Zealand South Island has an unforgettable holiday that's just for you. Discover it your way with flights and 12-day car hire from just $639. Book now at newzealand.com for a holiday that's 100% pure you.
Don't miss the Sealy Posturepedic Diamond Jubilee event at Harvey Norman, celebrating 60 years with brilliant bedding deals. Truly great value. The new release Sealy Posture Premier Spine Care Supreme, only $11.99. The Allure Queen Ensemble with Sealy's amazing sense and response support system, firm or plush feel, just $19.99 each. And the limited edition Brilliant Queen Ensemble, featuring Sealy's advanced dual support technology, firm or plush feel, only $24.99. More dazzling savings in Sealy's Diamond Jubilee event. Limited time only, now at Harvey Norman.
New Neat Sori. New generation sports footwear. This is the footbed of comfort, style, functionality and ergonomically designed orthotic benefits. You'll never want to take them off. Neat Sori. Available from leading pharmacies.
Chest to chest. Your skin already has its own natural anti-wrinkle secret. Q10. Nivea has put natural Q10 into a cream to effectively reduce and prevent wrinkles. If your skin could choose, it would choose Nivea. Q10 Anti-Wrinkle Moisturiser from Nivea. 100 years of skincare for life.
All you need for a quick lunch. Quick snack. Or quick and delicious side. All you need is Sunrise Quick Cups. Fluffy basmati rice, real veggies and loads of flavour in just 40 seconds. New Sunrise flavoured Quick Cups. Another great microwave idea from Sunrise.
They spray painted the sheet.
Wait till you see what this family will do.
He's got a rifle.
It'll turn this terror into a loving son. World's Strictest Parents, Wednesday.
You're looking at Brizzy through the Jetstar Skycam. Fine and hazy today, though, as Queensland faces bushfire conditions for another 2 days. Low humidity, rising temperatures, norwesterly winds have created a very high to severe fire danger, and about 50 fires continue to burn. We'll have more on the thread after 7 this morning. Well, today's news poll suggests that Julia Gillard's attempts to seek a compromise on asylum seekers has helped her. 27% of voters are now satisfied with her performance. That's up 4%. The PM's proposed changes to the Migration Act go before Parliament tomorrow, despite already being rejected by the opposition. Instead, Tony Abbott has come up with his own set of amendments. Predictably, the plans receive little support from the government.
Mr Abbott is doing this for one reason and one reason alone, because he wants to stop the Malaysia Agreement being implemented. The Australian people are entitled to conclude that the opposition has one objective here: to stop the Malaysia Agreement being implemented because they are scared it will work.
So both sides have been toing and froing on asylum seeker policies with no end in sight to this argument. And Opposition Leader Tony Abbott joins me now from Melbourne this morning. Good morning, Mr Abbott. Yesterday's meeting with the Prime Minister went nowhere. You met with your own party last night. So what did you tell them?
I told them that the coalition has been very consistent for the last decade, Matt. We have supported Nauru, temporary protection visas and turning boats around where it's safe to do so. By contrast, the Prime Minister has flipped and flopped and chopped and changed. She couldn't even keep a position from Friday night to Monday morning. Now, if the government wants offshore processing, it can have offshore processing, it should have offshore processing, and it should be at Nauru, and it could have had Nauru offshore processing at any time over the last 12 months.
Mr Abbott, why should the government accept your amendments if you're not going to accept theirs? Where's this stalemate going to end?
Well, the Prime Minister has a responsibility to get her policy through the Parliament. The Prime Minister can't turn around and say to the opposition leader, oh look, it's your responsibility to get my policy through the Parliament. My responsibility, Matt, is to good policy, to consistent policy, and we've had good policy, consistent policy for a decade now, and our policy has stopped the boats. Her policy started the boats up again. Her policy has given us 240 boats and 12,000 illegal arrivals. So let's have policy that's worked, not policy that's proven to fail.
But you talk about turning the boats back around, and they could well and truly be towed back to Indonesia, which is not a signatory of this convention either. So where are you left there?
The fact is that our obligations aren't triggered. Our obligations under the Refugee Convention aren't triggered until people have come to Australia. But I again make the point, Matt, that turning boats around, along with Nauru and temporary protection visas, was the policy that worked under the Howard government. I mean, this government says that they support offshore processing. They actually closed offshore processing down, and they have not processed a single person offshore in the 12 months since the Prime Minister first started talking about her East Timor so-called solution.
But isn't this meant to be now, at this stage, about compromise? You're saying it's your policy, your terms. There's no compromise in there.
There's no compromise from the Prime Minister. I put forward to her a very reasonable counter position yesterday, having sought very good legal advice from the former Solicitor General David Bennett QC on her position. And David Bennett's advice was that our proposal was much less likely to be legally challenged and retained the important protections that the Howard government thought was necessary. You see, we have the patent in the coalition. We have the patent on offshore processing. We also have the patent on offshore protections. And I can't understand why the Labor Party, which for years attacked the Howard government as brutal and heartless on this issue, is now proposing something which provides no protections to boat people whatsoever.
Surely you know, though, Mr Abbott, that the electorate's getting sick of this. They want a solution, and you're saying effectively there is no solution. The Prime Minister's saying there's no solution. What can you tell the Australian people?
Matt. Wrong, Matt. Our solution, the solution that's been proven to work, the solution that we have been consistently advocating is Nauru, temporary protection visas and turning boats around where it's safe to do so. Now, if the Prime Minister wants to go ahead with Nauru, that's offshore processing. If she wants to go ahead with Manus, which until a week or so back was actually part of her policy, that's offshore processing too. We believe in offshore processing, but it can't be offshore dumping, and that's what the Prime Minister's proposing with Malaysia.
Well, until there's a compromise, there's going to be no solution. There's no compromise. Now, today's news poll has the ALP's primary at just 26%, Mr Abbott. That's down 1 point, but you've shed 5 points in the satisfaction rating. The Prime Minister has gone up. So do you think that her efforts to seek compromise, the dreaded word, is being rewarded?
Matt, I'm not going to run a commentary on the polls, but just on this question of compromise, it's important to have policy that works. And the Malaysia deal, the Malaysia people, is a proven failure. Since it was announced, we've had 1,000 boat people. Since it was signed, we've had 400 boat people. By contrast, we know that the Coalition's consistent, decade-long policy of Nauru, temporary protection visas and turning boats around, that does work. We had fewer than 3 boats a year under the Coalition's policy. Since Julia Gillard dismantled the Coalition's policy, we've had almost 2 boats a week. So let's have the right policy. Let's not have a weak compromise with a bad government.
All right, stalemate continues. Tony Abbott, thanks for your time this morning.
It's no stalemate. They could have offshore processing tomorrow at Nauru, and that works.
We'll leave it there. It's 9 minutes to 7 o'clock. Well, new taxi drivers in Victoria will face tougher tests in a bid to improve standards on the road. Now, satisfaction with cab services in Melbourne has plummeted to a record low, with just 1 in 2 passengers now happy. So, what are the biggest problems with taxis, and are the complaints the same regardless of where you live?
At the end of the night, when you're waiting for a cab and you finally get one, and the guy will say, no, mate, sorry, too bad, you're not heading to Liverpool or wherever he's going for his last shift of the night.
They need to know where they're going, and certainly the tourist doesn't.
I think the language barrier.
Yeah,
really
having foreigners pick you up, is that what you mean?
Yeah. I can't understand half of them.
I guess frustrating that there's so many of them on the road.
I don't like the way they drive on the road. Even myself, I prefer driving and they think they own the roads.
Motoring expert John Cadogan joins me now. John, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mel.
So we're going to have tougher tests for cabbies. Do you reckon it'll work? What will the tests involve, and yeah, will it work?
Well, we have to remember that cabbies are still twice as popular as Prime Minister Julia Gillard, even this morning. But they will be subjected to additional tests. They'll have to answer questions about road and traffic conditions. They'll have to answer a summary about the training that they've received. And then some will be randomly selected and subjected to a further 30-minute exam.
OK, and what about the drivers already licensed? Will they have regular testing of any sort? Will they be assisted in any way to improve?
Well, there's not too much in this report about what we're going to do to weed out the bad apples among taxi drivers, and they're a small minority, but they bring the rest of the breed down and the reputation gets trashed.
Just what's your view on how we rate? I mean, are our cabbies OK, or are we just all becoming a bit whingy? Unless we have a stretched limo with a guy with a cap, we're not happy.
Well, the global standard for taxi driver performance would have to be the London cabbie, who is just such a fantastic example for the breed. You know, in Australia, I think what we need is some revolutionary initiatives like maybe undercover inspectors who pose as passengers, and what would be wrong even with a smartphone app where you could dial in and rate your cabbie, identify the good ones and name and shame the bad ones.
Yeah, as long as you identify the good ones. I reckon I've had plenty that are fantastic. So, John, good to talk to you. We'll see how it goes in Melbourne. All the best.
John Cadogan there. Well, news is next on Sunrise. Then Qantas shut down. We're live to the peak hour strike, throwing this morning's flight schedule into chaos.
And Nelson rates the fashions and the frocks at the Emmys.
I'm not feisty.
Of course you are. One of the reasons I married you.
They're Australia's favourite family. And now there's more rafters to love.
We got a new family member. Who?
Wait till you meet this little firecracker. 7's Rafters tonight after X Factor.
Proud's massive clearance sale is on now. Save on diamonds, gold, silver and more, with thousands of items half price. Like this elite watch, only $49.99. Proud's massive clearance sale. It's on now.
At Hungry Jack's, we think everybody should be able to start off their day with a freshly cooked bacon and egg muffin, golden hash brown and cappuccino. And we think any day that it's raining, or a little bit cloudy, you should be able to jump back in bed next to a smoking hot model. And maybe you're on a yacht. With a fresh brekkie meal for just $4.95, we've obviously done our part.
Win the war on allergies fast with Zyrtec. Try it, love it, or your money back.
Oh my gosh, Dad!
With most items covered by warranty, you can't lose. Convert your thinking. Cash Converters.
The new Samsung Smart TV. Immerse yourself in a world of endless entertainment. Experience Samsung Smart TV at Video Pro.
Why pay cash to sell your car? Why have people constantly calling you on the phone?
Ben's car, Chloe's car, Pete's car, your mum's car, Dave's car, Amy's car, your car, Eric's car. We're buying a car. We're buying a car.
Kickstart your savings today with the Chemist Warehouse half-price vitamin sale. Big brand vitamins at half price. All Blackmores and Swiss, half price. All Nature's Own and Synovus, half price. All Nature's Way and Bioglan, half price. For all big brand vitamins at, you guessed it, half price. Shop at Chemist Warehouse and stop paying too much.
Chemist Warehouse. Why pay more?
Welcome to Big W Vision. Please read the top line. And the next line. 2 pairs from $80. Great. Now isn't that better? Big W, helping you live big for less.
Be inspired. Great ideas, captivating stories, top columnists. Be informed. The Lord Mayor, the Premier, and a team of high-profile personalities tell you what you need to know. Be well read. Food, wine, fashion, travel, health and beauty, movies, motoring. It's all there. Be entertained by Brisbane's best read. BMag, the magazine that provides a wealth of information to the people of Brisbane. In your letterbox.
The Sunrise Showbiz Report, brought to you by New Idea, for all the latest news, goss and more, including the new pull-out cooking section, on sale now.
Showbiz editor Nelson Aspin joins us after a big day at the Emmys. I bet you slept well last night, but tell us about your highlights from the show. What did you think?
Well, aside from the sunburn, I was really excited that Australian Guy Pearce took home Best Supporting Actor for his role in the miniseries Mildred Pierce. But I have a confession to make. I actually found out hours before the show that he had won. A source of mine inside the Nokia Theatre said they were having a rehearsal, and they were rehearsing presenting that category, and said Guy Pearce. And he told me this, and I thought, well, shoot, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. And what if it was just, you know, a rehearsal and they just picked his name out randomly? So I was really anxious to see. Of course, he did win, and here's some of his very funny acceptance speech.
This was really a delightful experience making Mildred Pierce. I got to have sex with Kate Winslet many, many times. And I didn't realise it was going to result in this.
Nice work, Guy.
Yeah.
Now, after each awards night, there's a list, the best and worst dressed. Who are on yours?
Well, you know, I don't want to say worst list. I want to say disappointments, because worst is too extreme, I think. It's all subjective anyway, isn't it? But the top of my most disappointing would be Gwyneth Paltrow, because she does have such a great figure and generally great taste, but the midriff thing was a little strange. Diana Agron from Glee. Oh, there we see Gwyneth. I don't know. If we get a full shot, you'll see she had her very toned tummy out. It was just a very strange dress. Diana Agron from Glee had a sort of ill-fitting, rather matronly, I think, for such a young girl to have this sort of ill-fitting long gown on. That was a little disappointing. And then Katie Holmes, who usually is so spectacular, was just very blah and boring in her little blue Calvin Klein number. I think she didn't even feel very comfortable in it, because she just charged down the red carpet and didn't stop for nobody or nothing. As far as the best dressed goes, I mean, I'm completely biased by her décolletage, but Christina Hendricks looked smashing, doing the metallic thing. And Mel told me during the ad break I was unaware that Joanna Johnson, the designer of this dress, is an Aussie, and that Joanna had actually sent it over to Christina sort of on spec, and she chose it. So terrific for that. Sofia Vergara, Paz de la Huerta, and Ian Somerhalder. They round out my best.
Sofia Vergara and Rob Lowe on stage together. It's a very aesthetically pleasing duo, let me say it that way.
Genetically blessed.
Yeah. Thanks, Nelson. We'll talk to you a little bit later on this morning.
See you soon. Coming up on Sunrise this morning. Qantas chaos. Flights cancelled, passengers delayed, workers strike. We're there and we're live. Weather alert, the season's first bushfires, strong winds and high temperatures. Plus, in bed with Julia. Is showing the PM doing it wrapped in the Aussie flag too much? Also, food labelling lies, the chemical minefield at mealtime.
Hello, I'm Sting and I'm on Sunrise this morning.
And a music legend. Sting is our special guest on Tuesday, the 20th of September, 2011.
Right across Australia, this is Sunrise on 7. From Brekkie Central, Mel and Matt.
And you'll see our interview with Sting a little later in the show.
Absolute superstar, but we're keeping an eye on the windy weather this morning. And of course, we'll have comprehensive coverage of the Qantas strike. It's getting underway right now at airports around the country. So let's begin this news day with Nat.
Thanks very much. Yes, it is our lead story. Thousands of air travellers are likely to face a frustrating day as Qantas ground crew strike. Sunrise correspondents Edwina Bartholomew and Nuala Hafner are keeping tabs on developments and join me now. First to Eddie in Sydney and the industrial unrest just getting underway there.
Yeah, Nat, this was the time that workers were supposed to down tools and walk off the job. Instead, when they got to the airport this morning before 5 a.m, they were told not to bother. The doors were shut to them, and Qantas says it's not a lockout. They just had to bring in their contingency staff ahead of time to avoid chaos, which just seems so fast, so good. I don't think I've ever seen the Qantas terminal running so smoothly at this time of the morning. It's far busier at the Virgin and the Jetstar sections of the airport. The 6,000 people that are affected by the 28 flight cancellations knew well in advance. They received a text message or been able to check the Qantas website. 28 flights cancelled, 27 delayed, with some of the delays expected to last up to 2 days. Now, the TWU, the Transport Workers Union, that includes ground staff, baggage handlers, caterers. They're seeking a 15% pay rise over the next 3 years. Qantas says they simply cannot meet those demands because it would make them uncompetitive. Nat?
OK, thanks, Eddie. Nuala in Melbourne. Any sign of disrupted travel plans there?
Morning, Nat. Look, a similar story here in Melbourne to what Eddie was talking about in Sydney, in that Qantas chose to bring in that contingency staff. It's one of the many measures that they're using to try and limit disruptions as much as possible to make up for those 28 flight cancellations and 27 flights that have been delayed more than 35 minutes. They're also bringing in bigger aircraft that can carry more passengers on their busier routes. So, for instance, between Melbourne and Sydney, where up to 14 flights have had to be cancelled. And in terms of that contingency staff, who started here at 4:30 a.m, which meant that none of the TWU workers were required, so there wouldn't be that shift change. They're made up of some of the management for Qantas. So people who normally work in the office, they've been sent to the US for 2 weeks to train in ground staff, so directing aircraft in, baggage handling, just in case this kind of thing happens, and they've stepped in. I've also been told that Air New Zealand staff have been brought in, as well as strike breakers who've chosen not to take part in this industrial action.
OK, thanks very much. We'll get more through the morning from both of you. New South Wales rural firefighters are warning more homes could come under threat from a bushfire in the Blue Mountains west of Sydney. They kept a close watch on the blaze through the night after it broke out near Lura late yesterday. Crews attacked it from the ground and the air and managed to bring it under control, but strong winds today could see the fire flare up again. Investigations are now underway into whether the blaze was deliberately lit. 2 New South Wales detectives have arrived in Kentucky to extradite the man charged over Sydney's bomb hoax extortion case. Paul Caddick is there with the latest.
Detective Inspector Dave Moss and Detective Sergeant Andrew Marks arrived here in Louisville a short time ago. They're here to take into custody Paul Douglas Peters, the 50-year-old Australian who is accused of being the collar bomb hoaxer, accused of terrorising Sydney schoolgirl Madeleine Pulver. He was arrested 5 weeks ago at the home of his ex-wife just outside Louisville, and since then he has been in the Oldham County Jail. Last week at the United States District Court here in Louisville, he decided not to fight attempts to extradite him back to Australia to face charges of kidnapping, aggravated break and enter and extortion. At the time, his lawyer said that he was keen to get back to Australia to deal with those charges. Well, he doesn't have long for that now. The New South Wales officers will be dealing with the FBI and the US Marshals Service to organise the transfer into their custody. It's expected that Peters will be returning to Australia within days. From Louisville, Kentucky, it's back to you.
Paul Caddick there. British counter-terrorism officers have arrested 6 men on suspicion of plotting to carry out a terrorist attack. The group was arrested in a series of raids in a city outside London. They range in age and are believed to be of Pakistani heritage. Police allege the men had been in the advanced planning stages of an Al-Qaeda-inspired attack. 3 years after launching the world's cheapest car, an Indian car manufacturer has unveiled a much pricier version. This jewel-encrusted Nano is covered in more than 10,000 precious stones, set in 80 kilograms of gold. While the original model usually sells for around $2,500, this one-off showpiece has an estimated value of over $4 million. And isn't it amazing? In finance news now, the Dow Jones closed 108 points lower. The Nasdaq finished down 9. In London, the FT 100 lost 109 points. Germany's DAX fell 157. In our region, Japan's Nikkei gained 195 points. Hong Kong's Hang Seng dropped 537. The All Ords closed 66 points lower yesterday. The ASX 200 finished 66 points weaker. To the commodities, gold trading at $1,776 an ounce, oil $85 a barrel, Aussie dollar 102 US cents, 78 Japanese yen and $1.23 New Zealand. Here's Brett.
Nat, thanks very much. Collingwood has dominated this year's All-Australian team with 6 players getting the call-up. It further cements their domination of the competition over the past 2 seasons. They're now focusing on Friday night's preliminary final against Hawthorn.
Kick more goals than them, win the game, pretty basic, but no, they're a pretty amazing side and they played fantastic last week.
Hawks forward Lance Franklin is battling a stomach bug. Broncos skipper Darren Lockyer is expected to show his injured face at training today as Brisbane continues preparations for Friday's grand final qualifier against Manly. Lockyer wants to play the do-or-die clash and is likely to make a decision on his availability tomorrow. Phil Hughes may have saved Australia and himself with a well-timed century in the 3rd test against Sri Lanka. The opener is unbeaten on 122, with the Aussies heading into the final day with a 52-run lead at 3 for 209. Australia's Mick Fanning has survived an early scare at the Hurley Pro in California. The former world champion has struggled at the last 2 events but won his round 2 elimination at Trestles. Go Mick, good to see Mick doing well.
Yeah.
All right, let's check in with Grant, get today's forecast.
Mel, O2. It's not just a letter followed by a number. It's way more scientific than that. It is the secret elixir, the scientific DNA of life. O2, known as air, if you can keep with me. That's why it is such a big trend at the moment around the world. And that's why they've opened up this new bar. It's called O2 Bar Oxygen Station here at the moment in Darling Harbour. Now, the more you have, the better you are. It has proven antioxidant qualities. It can help you recover many different syndromes, being overtired, hungover, you name it. There's a number. Look, but the idea of paying for air might seem a little out there for you when there's plenty of it everywhere, but let's find out why. Alexi, tell us. Air's everywhere. Why is this stuff good?
There's the magic number there, 90% oxygen. So the typical air we breathe is 21%. Right. When you take 90% oxygen, you're saturating your body with free oxygen, extra oxygen, so it helps you recover from a hangover, relieves stress, gives you a little bit of an energy boost.
Notice plenty of flavours out there, which is quite extraordinary. It's not just air, they're flavoured air. What are some of your favourites?
Oh, mate, the cappuccino in the morning.
Yeah.
Watermelon. You got the pumpkin, strawberry, pina colada.
You've never been tempted to sort of play with the flavours, maybe trick a couple of customers, you know?
I don't know.
Maybe put a bit of parmesan in there or something?
No, that wouldn't help us very much.
No. But athletes use it, so it actually has quite a profound effect on their body and recovery, don't they?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. You got the NFL players, they sit on the sideline, they put on the oxygen mask, helps them recover, gives them a bit of an energy boost.
I noticed too in the V8 Supercar series that you, in an endurance race, you'll see like a Craig Lowndes or a Jamie Whincup. They'll get straight out of a car, whack on the oxygen mask, try and pump a lot of the antioxidants and the carbon monoxide out of their system. So it does aid in very fast recovery as we take a look at the forecast right around Australia this morning.
Sunrise weather brought to you by Claritine. Be prepared and live Claritine clear.
Clear skies across Queensland today, 29 for Cairns, some early fog and 25 for Mackay, 28 for Rockhampton and on the Sunshine Coast and 30 for Brisbane. Sunshine at 28 for Burke and Coffs Harbour. Sydney, mostly sunny, top of 27 degrees today. A possible shower or two for Canberra and 18 showers and 15 for Albury. Partly cloudy and 20 for Mildura, showers clearing and 17 for Melbourne and Geelong, a few showers and 16 for Launceston and Hobart. Adelaide, a shower or two and 19, showers clearing and 21 for Ceduna, sunny and cooler conditions for Alice Springs, just 26, and afternoon cloud for Katherine, 37, Darwin, partly cloudy, 32. Western Australia now, a shower or two in Bunbury, 20 degrees, a few showers for Perth, top of 21, partly cloudy and 23 for Kalgoorlie, sunny and 31 for Karratha and Exmouth. There's iPads just mounted at each station as well, so while you're spending your 15 minutes for $12 getting your oxygen, you can sort of just Google away and have a bit of a play. Music fan myself, so just checking out Seal's latest album. It's like, I don't know about the album cover, but it's I'm sure the music's all right. Yeah, so you know what they say about air? It's airy.
Profound. Great, we're learning a lot. I'll see you in half an hour from now. It is 11 minutes past 7 o'clock. Almost 4,000 Qantas workers have stopped work across the country this morning. Baggage handlers, ground staff and caterers are striking for 4 hours during peak travel time. Now, Qantas has been forced to cancel 28 flights, delay 28, and it says the disruptions could affect flights for up to 2 days. The airline has apologised in advance to the 6,100 passengers who will be affected. Now, the Transport Workers Union says the strike is due to months of frustration caused by the airline's aggressive new management strategies. Scott Connolly is the National Aviation Official from the Transport Workers Union. Scott, good morning to you. Just run us through this. It's an ongoing dispute that we know over pay and conditions. Just give us a snapshot on what the union wants.
Look, ultimately, TW members at Qantas are securing better wages and conditions, a wage increase of 5% in line with the success of this company and well beneath what they're paying to their executives in terms of bonuses and salary increases. And ultimately, and most importantly, we're after some job security provisions and protections that give our members at Qantas the security that over the next 2 years they're going to have a job at Qantas, that their pay and conditions are going to be maintained, and they're not going to face another period of sustained attacks where their management, their online managers and executive managers are using every trick in the book to erode and attack their pay, their conditions and their workplace rights.
Can I put to you, there's not a lot of workers out there at the moment in any industry that are going to get that guaranteed 2 years security, given it's a pretty volatile situation.
Look, I appreciate that, absolutely, that's the case, but there's a way where this airline, as it has done in the past, and its workforce, can work together to deliver both the workers that perform the work that we cover, the travelling public and the management to an extent, the certainty going forward. Now, that's not even at the table at the moment. The company are yet to make any indication or any concession that they're prepared to entertain the legitimate claims that our members are seeking. So over months now, 4 months, over 12 meetings, we're yet to see any offer from the company or any preparedness from the company to take TW members' claims seriously. So
given you've reached this stalemate at this point after 4 months, are we going to see more strikes?
Look, really, that's a matter for Qantas. We've taken the regrettable decision today for our members to lose pay, lose 4 hours pay, not a decision they take lightly, to inconvenience the public, which we apologise for. It's not something we do out of hand. We don't want to be doing it on a regular basis, but our members have made it clear that they're determined to go into a new wage deal with their employer that gives them a real future and real protections, and we're hopeful that Qantas team hear from TW members today, they take stock and listen to the concerns of the overwhelming majority of their workforce.
OK, Scott, good to hear from you. Thank you. Let's hear from Qantas now. Olivia Worth joins us. Good morning to you, Olivia. You just heard Scott there. Are we going to find middle ground in this issue?
Look, we're very much committed to fair and open negotiations. As Scott indicated, we have been negotiating for 4 months, and we're very much committed to those sorts of negotiations. However, the action being taken today by the union does cause disruption for our passengers, and ultimately it impacts on our company. So there is a lot of talk about job security here, but this sort of action, in fact, flies in the face of job security. We need to come back to the negotiating table. We encourage the union to do so. We're very much committed to those talks, and we hope the union does that in good faith.
So you're both saying similar things. You're both saying you're committed to talks. You're both saying you're trying to find a middle ground, but it seems at this point, after 4 months, it's not going to happen. What's it going to take to break through this stalemate?
What it does take is for this sort of action to stop and to come back to the negotiating table. If they are serious about these discussions and representing their members, they need to continue the negotiation. Qantas is a good employee. For example, we pay our baggage handlers 12% more than they do at Virgin. So we are serious about this. We are a good employee, and we would ask the union to come back in good faith.
Okay. Some baggage handlers turned up to work this morning at 5 o'clock and they were locked out by the airline. Why was that?
It's absolutely not a lockout. However, what we do have in place is a contingency workforce. Those employees that arrived at 5 a.m, they also are going to be taking strike action for 7. So what we said is that we don't need to disrupt the airline. We simply can't have an airline that switches off and on. It just doesn't work like that. They will absolutely be paid for those 2 hours of work. They'll then take that strike action and then they'll be welcome back to work. It's definitely not a lockout.
Okay, we'll see how the day pans out. Olivia Worth, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also.
Thank you.
Severe bushfire warnings are in place for parts of New South Wales and Queensland. Several blazes, believed to have been deliberately lit, have been threatening homes in the Blue Mountains just west of Sydney. Now, aerial bombing took place overnight to douse fires around Katoomba and Leura. Meanwhile, crews have battled over 300 bushfires throughout southeast and central Queensland. The smoke haze intensified and covered landmarks and has also blanketed cities. So what type of day is ahead? Well, meteorologist Tom Saunders is from the Weather Channel. Rob Roger is the Deputy Commissioner for the New South Wales Rural Fire Service. Good morning to you both. Can I start with you, Rob? Those fires in New South Wales, what's the situation now?
Well, basically, the fire in Leura is still burning. It's not currently threatening property. It did flare up overnight, but that fire's calmed down a little bit. We are, though, expecting very strong winds today, up to 85 kilometres an hour in that area. Additionally, there has been some reports of lightning strikes to the west and southwest of the state. So, obviously, given the strong winds, we'll be very much looking at any new fires starting today.
Yeah, so in essence, you're saying that's almost the perfect storm for a fire.
Well, it is. Look, the temperatures are still fairly low, but the wind strength is the thing that will drive these fires, and obviously in the Blue Mountains, the terrain itself. So obviously we're going to be pretty concerned, and particularly we had around 6 fires in that same area yesterday, so that's of great concern to fire authorities and police, and obviously we'll be very vigilant today.
Tom Saunders from the Weather Channel. This thick haze in Queensland, what's causing all that?
Well, there's literally hundreds of fires burning through Queensland at the moment. 2010 was their wettest year on record. As a result of that, there was substantial vegetation growth, and then they've had a very dry winter. That's made the vegetation more combustible. So there's hundreds of fires through the state at the moment, and over the past few days, it's been hot, dry and windy, which has helped to fuel the fires.
Yeah, and strong winds across South Australia and Victoria overnight. Will they affect the fires? Are they on the way?
Yeah, there's strong winds moving through New South Wales, which we've already spoken about, so gusting up to about 90 kilometres through central parts of the state today. The winds are easing, though, through Victoria and South Australia today. Those lighter winds will then filter through New South Wales overnight tonight. So for New South Wales, much calmer conditions are on the way tomorrow with lower fire dangers. For Queensland, there's a severe fire danger out for the eastern Maranoa, Warrego and the southern Darling Downs today. That's with temperatures of 32 degrees, humidity 20% and winds averaging 35 kilometres per hour. But then lighter winds and cooler temperatures are also on the way to Queensland tomorrow.
And Rob, back over to you. This is really the first firestorm that we've had headed our way this season. So what's the advice? We need to refresh ourselves with the advice.
Well, I think people need to understand that obviously the fire danger is real. Some people had some, I guess, some scares because it's still September. It's not unusual to get fires at this time, but I think combined with those winds, it should be a reminder of people. Everybody needs a bushfire survival plan. People need to, irrespective of where you live in Australia, you need to contact your local fire authority, download one, make sure you fill one out, and make sure that you're ready to enact that during summer.
All right, gentlemen, thanks very much for your time this morning. It's going to be a busy day ahead for you, Rob and Tom. So it's 7:19 now in Sunrise. A new low for Labor this morning. Today's news poll has the ALP's primary at just 26%, down a point. So just over 1/4 of voters would back the Gillard government if a federal election was held now. But Julia Gillard has had a small bounce, with more voters satisfied with her performance. Opposition leader Tony Abbott shed 5 points in the satisfaction rating, but he's told us the ongoing asylum seeker debate isn't affecting his performance.
Matt, I'm not going to run a commentary on the polls, but just on this question of compromise, it's important to have policy that works. And the Malaysia deal, the Malaysia people swap, is a proven failure. Since it was announced, we've had 1,000 boat people. Since it was signed, we've had 400 boat people. By contrast, we know that the Coalition's consistent, decade-long policy of Nauru, temporary protection visas and turning boats around, that does work.
It is 20 minutes past 7 o'clock. Well, the jury in the Carl Williams murder trial has been shown gruesome video taken after his killing. The pictures show Williams' lifeless body on the prison floor. Now, footage of a police interview with Matthew Johnson, Carl's cellmate, who's now accused of his murder, has also been released. Johnson has given evidence at the trial. He told the jury Carl once offered him $200,000 to kill a former police detective. Well, joining us from Melbourne is 7 News reporter Laurel Irving. Good morning, Laurel. Thanks so much. Just tell us a little bit more about this video footage taken after Carl's death.
Well, Mel, it's crime scene vision taken by police, so it is very graphic. We do see close-up shots of Carl Williams' body, and he'd been beaten to death, so it is pretty gruesome, and some of the jury members yesterday were clearly quite uncomfortable with what they were seeing. We also see exactly where Carl Williams was sitting when he was hit. He was just at a table reading the paper, a Diet article, in fact, and we also see the weapon that was used to kill him, a stem from an exercise bike, and Johnson told the court yesterday that he was so worried about Williams in the lead-up to the death, he deliberately put the exercise bike outside his cell so it could be nearby to be used as a weapon. And at the other end of the unit, he had a toasted sandwich maker to use as a weapon as well.
Goodness, all right. And what does the footage of Matthew Johnson's interview with police reveal?
Well, Mel, he doesn't say a lot. It only runs for a few minutes. It's yep and nup to most questions. When he's asked about the killing, he repeatedly says no comment. But then right at the end, the police officer asks him if there's anything else he wants to say, and Johnson says just that I acted alone.
All right. Thanks very much, Laurel, for that update. Good to talk to you.
Thanks, Mel.
Here's Matt.
Thanks, Mel. Something a bit lighter. For most seniors, retirement is about relaxing, travelling and enjoying those golden years. But for Brisbane man Pat Kennedy, it's all about new challenges. Last weekend, he became the country's oldest black belt in Taekwondo. Our reporter Michelle Tapper caught up with him. Michelle, getting a black belt's a massive achievement anyway. For a 72-year-old man, he must have had to train so hard.
Good morning, Matt. Well, Pat was actually 75, so he did have to train really hard, and it's a huge achievement for him because he took up the sport 3.5 years ago when he was 72, and about 6 months ago he realised the black belt was within reach, so he started training up to 10 hours a week to achieve his dream. Let's take a look. 75-year-old grandfather Pat Kennedy is not your average senior citizen. For fun, he breaks wooden boards.
Hiya!
Wow, that was so impressive. How's your hand?
Nothing.
No damage?
No damage.
You're all right. And fights men more than 50 years his junior. So do you guys cut Pat some slack because of his age?
Oh, no. If we cut him slack, we'll get knocked out.
Do you take it easy on them, Pat?
No way in the world. Otherwise, I'm dead.
Fearless and feisty, this septuagenarian took up fighting to keep fit and protect himself. So you're living proof that you're never too old to start something new?
Yes, I mean, if you'd have really asked me at 72, do you think you can be a black belt? I said, forget it, you know, we're not in that category. But it just shows you can. Round, round.
Taekwondo instructor Adam Wilson says Pat's an inspiration.
He said, I'm 72, is that too old? Can I get into it? And I said, no, any age is a good age.
give it a try, see how you enjoy it.
Now, 3 years later, Pat's made history by becoming the country's oldest Taekwondo black belt.
I think it's inspirational. It's amazing to be training and having someone there, you know, working hard at that age, and you know, it's great for everyone else in the class.
The 90-minute black belt exam involved breaking boards and fending off 3 men at a time. How hard was it?
It was quite hard, actually. You train for it and you expect it, and you've seen other people do it, and you think, I can do that. I think.
What do you think of your achievements?
I think it's bloody great.
His young sparring partners agree.
Absolutely amazing. He's 75 now, and to be able to do something like that is just incredible. Like, I graded at the same time as him. I'm 20 and I was wrecked, so I can't imagine doing something like that.
And I couldn't imagine breaking a wood board with my bare hands, but Pat insisted I give it a go.
There you go if you like.
All right.
You made us all look horses.
It's the teacher. Well, as you can see, I was pretty impressed with myself. Actually, I was quite shocked that I managed to break the board, but I guess I've got to admit that it was a kid's board, so it's a lot thinner than the adults' boards that the black belts have to break. But I think it was a pretty good effort for my first go, don't you?
Good on your muscles, Michelle Tapper. Well done. I was going to say the granddad is somebody you don't want to mess with, but I won't mess with you either. Thanks, Michelle. Back to you, Mel.
Thank you. Well, later, Tasmania's parliament set to become the first to vote in favour of gay marriage. And live music from Eskimo Joe.
Is Kai.
I'm just cool.
I have that fear that he's going to end up dead.
Wednesday.
There's no smoking anywhere on the property.
Spray painted the sheet. Wait till you see what this family will do. That'll turn this terror into a loving son.
My boy's home.
On 7's new World's Strictest Parents, Wednesday.
I am out on the road. I'm at dinner for 3. Up in the clouds, I'm in a jacuzzi. With White Pages Mobile, I find all that I need.
Now there's a toilet tissue that won't wipe away his environment. Choose FSC certified Kleenex Cottonelle.
It's human nature to hide our vulnerabilities. What we need is not always obvious. People don't come with care instructions. But if you care for the person, they'll reveal what's needed. If you care for the person, Ozcare, we care more.
Bougez, bougez. Bougez, bougez. Bougez, bougez.
Budget, love. Budget direct car insurance.
Pay less or get $50.
Right now, Suzuki is making it easy for everyone. The true four-wheel drive Grand Vitara Turbo Diesel comes with 17-inch alloys, cruise control, climate control air from only $36,990 drive away. And slip into the Kizashi XL with keyless entry, dual-zone climate control, USB 7-speaker sound and price to drive away from $29,990. See your dealer. There's a Suzuki for your way of life.
Suzuki, way of life.
The 20Q obsession is starting again.
What? It's reading my mind. It's gotta be some sort of trick. Pure genius. It knows. It knows.
Play 20 questions like never before with the all-new 20Q, each sold separately.
Will it read your mind?
To get the edge, my health needs to be in top shape. That's why I choose Swiss. Swiss Ultivites are comprehensive formulas made with over 50 active ingredients to support stamina, energy, general health and well-being. They're one of the only multivitamins in Australia clinically tested with proven results, which means I definitely feel the difference. That's why I choose Swiss. Tired, stressed, you'll feel better on Swiss.
Are you gonna bring my mom back?
I'm gonna try, buddy.
7's new Criminal Minds suspect behaviour, Wednesday. She's got a first date rule.
No brown shoes. Brown shoes are really bad.
And he's about to break it. Dinner date tonight after Rafters.
Good morning, Dave Andrews in the Chorley Misso Sky Tracker 7. Fairly good on the roads this morning. No reports of any accidents around. We do have some good conditions too on the Ipswich motorway. Gotta love school holidays. That's the run through Darra and Oxley, looking very, very good at this stage. Very foggy to the south and the west of the city this morning. A look there at the Centenary Highway coming through Jindalee. A little bit foggy but moving well. And Trilby Misso lawyers are now open on the Sunshine Coast, Browns Plains, Ipswich, Morayfield, Robina, North Lakes and the Hyperdome. Details at trilbymisso.com.au. Another check in 30 minutes here on Sunrise.
Sunrise, brought to you by Jetstar. Low fares are just part of the story.
Good morning to Melbourne through our Jetstar Skycam. A few showers clearing today and heading for a top of 17 degrees.
Coming up later, one of the biggest names in the music industry, Sting, will join us.
But it is time for the news. It's just about to click over 7:30. Here's Nat.
Thank you, Mel. Leading our news, Qantas ground crew have begun nationwide strike action this morning. More than 6,000 passengers could be affected by the industrial action, with the airline expecting to cancel 28 flights and delay another 28 by about half an hour. The Transport Workers Union is pushing for better pay and job security.
So there's a lot of talk about job security here, but this sort of action, in fact, flies in the face of job security. We need to come back to the negotiating table. We encourage the union to do so. We're very much committed to those talks.
Qantas is advising passengers to turn up for their flights but expect delays. Southeast Queensland will experience smoke haze today from dozens of grass fires burning right across the state. Heavy rain earlier in the year has seen a dramatic increase in the fuel load on the grass plains.
So for the next few days in particular, there will be a heightened fire risk across most parts of Queensland.
The smoke haze in Brisbane is not expected to be blown away until Wednesday at the earliest. People with respiratory problems are being urged to stay indoors until conditions improve. Support for the Gillard government has fallen to a record low, according to the latest news poll. Labor's primary vote has slumped to just 26%, falling 1 point in the last fortnight. The coalition dropped 2 points to 48%. It comes as the opposition refused to support changes to the Migration Act that would allow asylum seekers to be processed in Malaysia.
If the government wants offshore processing, it can have offshore processing. It should have offshore processing, and it should be at Nauru, and it could have had Nauru offshore processing at any time.
Despite a drop in support for the government, the Prime Minister's satisfaction rating has jumped 4 points. Tony Abbott's personal approval rating has fallen 5 to 34%. The man charged over the Sydney collar bomb hoax could be back in Australia by the end of the week. 2 Sydney detectives have arrived in Kentucky to escort Paul Douglas Peters back to Australia. Peters had earlier decided not to fight his extradition. It's alleged Peters broke into the home of Madeleine Pulver before placing that fake device around her neck and fleeing. American President Barack Obama has unveiled plans to cut the country's deficit by nearly $3 trillion. As well as big spending cuts, his scheme would see an increase in the tax paid by wealthy Americans in order to meet his ambitious target.
If we're going to make spending cuts, many of which we wouldn't make if we weren't facing such large budget deficits, then it's only right that we ask everyone to pay their fair share.
Republicans say they will fight the proposal, accusing Obama of waging class warfare. In finance this morning, the Dow closed down 108 points. The Nasdaq finished 9 points down. In London, the FT 100 fell 109. Germany's DAX lost 157 points. The Australian dollar buying 102 US cents, 78 Japanese yen, and $1.23 New Zealand. Here's Barrett's.
This Sunrise Sport Report brought to you by Swiss. Tired? Stressed? You'll feel better on Swiss.
6 Collingwood players have been named in this year's All-Australian side. Scott Pendlebury, Dane Swan and Leon Davis return to the 22-man squad, while it's a first for Ben Reid, Dale Thomas and Travis Cloke.
We've got a massive team of Hawthorn Friday night to come across, and they're in good nick, so it's going to be a great opportunity for us to play some good football.
A stomach bug meant Buddy Franklin wasn't on hand to pick up his 3rd All-Australian award, but he will be at the MCG on Friday night. Injured Broncos skipper Darren Lockyer is expected to return to training today with 3 titanium plates inserted in his face. Lockyer remains confident of playing in their grand final qualifier against Manly on Friday night, and coach Anthony Griffin wants him to make a call tomorrow. Meanwhile, Storm coach Craig Bellamy says he isn't worried by his side's recent poor form against the Warriors. Phil Hughes has answered his critics with a well-timed century to put Australia in the box seat in the 3rd test against Sri Lanka. Hughes went to stumps on day 4, unbeaten on 122, with Australia leading by 52 runs at 3 for 209. Some great results from the World Road Cycling Championships in Copenhagen overnight. Congratulations to Luke Durbridge, who won the under-23 men's time trial, and Jessica Allen took out the junior women's time trial as well. So our cyclists continue to go from strength to strength.
It's day 1 too, good start.
Exactly right, a ripping start. All right, Grant's got the weather this morning. He's out in the fresh air.
There's been plenty of warm temperatures, Brett's, right over eastern Australia. Now, we've been telling you about the front that's been moving through from South Australia into Victoria, Tasmania. Obviously, warm weather is always ahead of a front. There are some storms and rain activity in central New South Wales at the moment. There's some severe weather warnings in place for very strong winds, about 90 k's an hour. Not a lot of rain in it, but there is some storm activity there that's going to stretch from central New South Wales all the way to sort of the Hunter region, which means that the strongest winds at the moment just recorded are at Katoomba, 85 kilometres an hour, not too far from here in Sydney. Now that front and those winds are going to push into Queensland. Now that's a bit of a concern. Of course, there's been a lot of fires burning, a lot of grass fires over the last couple of days, up to 180. So whilst those winds might start to blow a lot of the fog and the strong haze that is currently sitting over Brisbane might blow that away, it also could worsen the situation and fan those existing fires. So that could be quite problematic as that front moves into Queensland this afternoon. That's the scheduled time into this evening. Let's have a look at the forecast now.
Sunrise weather brought to you by Claritine. Be prepared and live Claritine clear.
Dry, warm and potentially damaging northerly winds are being forced into southeast Australia ahead of the front that you can see. That's already in Victoria, South Australia, moving into New South Wales, just a couple of mils of Victoria. The active cold front is spreading a cooler change where those showers are falling in Victoria and Tasmania. Brisk westerly winds are generating some isolated showers over South Australia and southern WA as well. Brisbane, fine and 30. That front will move through this afternoon, as I said. Mostly sunny and 27 for Sydney. A wet day for Canberra, 18 degrees. Melbourne, showers clearing in 17. Hobart, a few early showers in 16. A shower or two for Adelaide in 19. Perth, a few showers in 21. Partly cloudy for Darwin and 32. So the issue really is, and the focus is on Queensland, where those fires are burning at the moment. Those winds will be strong. Again, 90 kilometres an hour is what's forecast. So high fire danger for Queensland on the way.
All right, Grant, yeah, pay attention. Like we said earlier, almost the perfect storm for a fire so early in the season. Check in soon, mate. Later in Sunrise on Demand, the dodgy labels hiding what's really in your food.
But next, Eskimo Joe live when we come back.
In Ipswich or wherever stories break, 7 News is Queensland's #1.
Nothing comes between Cocoa Pops and milk for me and my kids.
They're just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy.
Once there was a little girl named Laura who was busy exploring the world. when nasty pain and fever stopped her in her tracks. Luckily, Mum relies on Nurofen for Children for caring relief she can trust. With up to 8 hours of lasting fever relief, Laura can get back to the magic of being an explorer. Nurofen for Children. Effective relief you can trust.
It's Curtin Wonderland's massive catalogue sale. Fresco blockout eyelets only $29.95 each. Ready-made blinds from $19.95. Eyelets from $19.95. Cushions from $9.95. Save up to 50% during Curtin Wonderland's massive catalogue sale on now.
You know, I feel like our credit cards are getting away from us. So I was thinking, if only someone could help get them under control. ANZ have options, like transferring our other balances onto one of their credit cards and giving us 12 months at just 2.9% to help get on top of it. And they'll sort out the transfers. It's good to feel in control. In you go. And one bank is thinking the same way.
The new Samsung Smart TV. Immerse yourself in a world of endless entertainment. Experience Samsung Smart TV at Video Pro.
It's like a good wine. As it ages, it acquires depth.
Like mainland vintage cheddar, matured up to 24 months for that sharper bite and crumblier texture. It's where the legendary mainland taste began.
There's a low fare waiting for you at Jetstar.
That's right, with these great low fares, now's the perfect time to take a break. Take off from Brisbane to Sydney from $79, Whit Sunday Coast from $99, Townsville from $119, or Christchurch from just $169. One-way check baggage not included, but may be added for an additional fee. Not available on all flights or days. Conditions apply.
To book, visit jetstar.com.
Be inspired. Great ideas, captivating stories, top columnists. Be entertained by Brisbane's best read, BMag, the magazine that provides a world of information to the people of Brisbane in your letterbox.
It's been 2 months since Eskimo Joe performed for Sunrise in Brisbane. This morning, Cav, Joel and Stu are back with us.
Yeah, following the success of Love is a Drug. Now, the band has a new single. It's called Echo, and it's from their album, which is Ghosts of the Past.
We might have a bit of a chat, though, because we're just going to work out a few slight technical difficulties. While you do that, can we yell at you across the studio, boys, so we can come over? Are we okay? No. Just give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down if we're ready to go. Down. Okay. Yeah. Let's chat about it. So you want viewers to help you with your video. Music video. Here's a hand mic. This is really working well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is live television and sometimes it doesn't go smoothly. Hello.
Hey, how you
Let's
going,
chat
guys?
instead, even if you can't sing. Let's talk, because I like talking to you guys anyway. So you want viewers to help you with the video, make your video for the new song, Echo?
There's a website called genero.tv, but all the details are on our website, eskimojoe.net. But basically, yeah, we're throwing it open to whoever wants to do a clip.
Great.
In which way? What, you got to
see Matt White dance.
No, you've actually got to do the whole thing yourself.
Yeah?
Oh. Yeah. So
do the whole video, come up with the idea.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Obviously, you don't get to film us, which makes it kind of awkward.
Oh. That'd be
so you've got to make a video clip from scratch without us in it.
That is great.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put a link on our website to yours. What we might do is throw to a commercial break now, work out the technical glitches, and then you guys will sing for us after the break. Echo.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good.
You're watching Sunrise. Sometimes it goes smoothly.
Performed live. Tonight, Australia decides who goes on and who goes home. Plus, Brian Adams and performing live on the X Factor Live Decider tonight.
There's nothing like an Aussie holiday. Even better, going on one with your dream team of 5 family or friends. You could win one of 16 amazing Aussie holidays to share with your dream team. You'll fly Qantas and stay at the luxury lodges of Australia. Entering is easy. Go to nothinglikeaustralia.com.au, upload your favourite Aussie holiday snap and tell us in 25 words why there's nothing like Australia. Who will you choose for your dream team? Enter now at nothinglikeaustralia.com.au.
I'm going to ask my woolies for paint, paper lighter books, pencils, a fish.
Earn and Learn has been extended until October 18 to help your kids' school.
That's my woolies.
If you're after a big landscaping feature, there's several options available to you. But the biggest improvement you can make to your home is to stick a buffalo in your yard. Sir Walter, Australia's #1 buffalo lawn.
This spring, everything chic is at Lamb Boutique. Delicious designs are the order of the day as legs make a welcome return at Cutlet Dinner again. Carver lamb patty's smouldering show full of heady fragrances flips tradition on its head. But the piece de resistance is the sexy stripes from Le Boucher. Lamb, it's what everyone's eating this season.
What a difference 2 letters can make. GE's cutting-edge high-definition CT scanner gives doctors a healthy chance of detecting heart disease early. That's healthy imagination from GE.
Now there's a toilet tissue that won't wipe away his environment. Choose FSC certified Kleenex Cottonelle.
Taking the required amount of fish oil each day can be hard to swallow. Nature's Own makes it easy with their quality selection of high-strength capsules and liquids. Just 2 capsules of Nature's Own 1500 milligram fish oil or 1 teaspoon of the delicious citrus-flavoured liquid fish oil is all you need for your daily general health requirements. For naturally sourced quality fish oils, it has to be Nature's Own.
To celebrate Macca's 40th birthday in Australia, we're giving you a present. Our best tasting McFlurry desserts ever. The new double choc fudge, caramel cookie, strawberry crumble and delicious bubblegum squash.
G'day, John Sluter from 7 News. Southeast Queensland is blessed with fantastic waterways. When it rains, litter is washed from streets and car parks into our local creeks and Moreton Bay. Litter in our waterways can harm aquatic plants and animals. It contributes to flooding problems and makes our waterways look dirty and unattractive. Let's keep our waterways clean and healthy. Always put litter in the bin.
Welcome back. It is 7:46 on Sunrise. We've plugged in all the leads. We fixed up all the dramas. So Eskimo Joe are in the house to perform their new single, Echo. Before you are now, folks. The single is Echo. The album is Ghosts of the Past. It's out now, and Eskimo Joe also going on tour. Go to our website for all of the details. Thank you, boys.
Thanks so much for coming in this morning. It is 9 minutes to 8 o'clock. All right, the controversial satire At Home with Julia has brought the ABC under a bit of fire today. In an upcoming episode of the series, the Prime Minister's character is seen canoodling on the floor of her office with partner Tim Matheson, draped in the Australian flag.
Now, the national broadcaster is defending the use of the flag, while Monikers say it's going too far, it's just not funny. So what do the Kings of Talkback think about this one? Neil Mitchell from Melbourne's 3AW. Morning, Neil, and good morning to Sydney's 2GB. Chris Smith. Neil, I think you've just made your point well and truly clear. Are we going too far here?
Yuck, it looks far too real. It turned me stomach. Look, the problem with this show is it's offensive. It's offensive because it's not funny. A series of skits on a Tonight Show, yeah, but an overworked, drawn-out program, it doesn't work. I mean, even this particular skit, they refer to Julia Gillard being debriefed under the flag. I mean, it's just, they're not funny, they're old jokes, they're overworked. I'm not offended by the use of the flag. I think we respect the flag for what it stands for rather than the piece of cloth. I've seen people around the world wrapped in the Australian flag in various states of sobriety and consciousness. I'm not offended by that. I'm offended by the show because it's not funny.
Yeah, viewers are the same too, Neil, that you can buy, you know, Australian flag undies and thongs and everything. But Chris, it's really interesting because some people are then not offended by the show because they say Aussies love humour, but they're offended by the use of the flag. It's very different. What offends people? What offends you, if anything?
Nothing. I think it's funny. I think it's not drawn out. After all, it's only 4 shows, as I understand it, 4 episodes. Look, at the end of the day, as you've pointed out, we've got undies with the Australian flag on it. I wonder whether it had been different if they'd have used one of those Australian flag doonas. They could have used the doona. What do we think about that? We're different to the Americans. This would be outrageous to an American public. Yeah. But we're used to parody, we're used to satire, we're used to, in particular, taking the mickey out of ourselves and our politicians and our leaders. And I think we should continue to do all of that. And who knows, Julia might have a set of, you know, monogram towels with the Australian flag on it. So the mind boggles. Who knows?
Hey, can I give you some too much information about something? I was once driving in a celebrity race years ago with the then Foreign Minister, Alexander Downer, and we all had to get changed in the same change room. He wore Union Jack undies, the Foreign Minister.
Yeah, that is too much information, Neil.
With or without the stilettos, though.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's move on because it looks like Tasmania, gents, will be the first state in Australia to allow same-sex marriages. The Tassie Parliament set to vote in favour of marriage equality while also calling on the federal government to follow suit. What do you reckon, Chris? Long overdue?
This is a really tough issue. Can I say the irony of it all is that for many decades the gay community has rejected the traditional bond of marriage, and the tradition in this country has been, and I think in the Western world, has been about procreation and of course family. And now, like, they're out in the streets protesting to try and get into the tent. So that's the irony of it all. I think this is the direction we're going. I think the debate that's going on at the moment is a good one to have. I think the homosexual community need to enunciate exactly what they want. Is it about procreation? I don't know. Is it about adoption? Is it about having family? Or is it about a relationship bond? And I think that debate is a good one. I think the turning point may be later this year at the ALP conference. Will Labor members vote for what Tasmania is doing at the moment? That could be the turning point.
Neil, it's a debate that we've been having for quite some time in the public domain. Is it time that it's fixed? This one is solved.
Yep, just get on with it, just legalise it. It's not going to be compulsory. If they want to do it, they should be allowed to do it. It's about having equal rights. That's really what it's about. I don't think the Labor Party conference matters because the government tends to ignore what the conference decides, even though it should follow it. It's only 15 years ago, you know, in Tasmania, homosexuality was illegal. And they're taking this step now. Good on them. Let's deal with it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
All right, Neil, Chris, thanks for your time this morning.
Have a good day.
News is next on Sunrise, then airline chaos. The flight's delayed and cancelled as Qantas workers strike.
25 years on stage, dozens, actually hundreds of hits. I'll be back.
We'll speak to the man, the music legend Sting, when Sunrise returns.
Underage and undercover, the biggest police blitz on teenage drinking. Hundreds caught. The investigation police want all parents and teens to see. On 7's today tonight.
I used to miss out on so much because of my allergies.
Not anymore. So, have we got everything? Tickets? Check. Comfy shoes? Check. Claritine? Check.
I use Claritine for all my allergies, whether it's pollen, dust mites, mould, or animals. For me, Claritine works so well, sometimes I even forget I have allergies, and it doesn't make me drowsy.
So, where to next?
Be prepared and live Claritine Clear. Available at your local pharmacy.
Looking after a family isn't easy.
Hey!
Protecting them can be. With a life insurance plan from Insurance Line, you can apply in just minutes. Easy.
138898 Insurance Line.
Your life is busy enough, even without finding time to put dinner on the table. That's why Brodie's Meal Makers make your meal the way you would, but easier, giving you a takeaway meal that's the real deal.
Dinner's ready.
Brodie's Meal Makers. Our kitchen is your kitchen.
It's hard to hide when you're happy inside. It's hard to hide. It's hard to hide when you're happy inside.
Valia yogurt with a unique trio of feel-good probiotic cultures.
It's hard to hide when you're happy inside.
The streets are paved with fashion and savings at Harbour Town. The only place you'll find outlet stores for Australian designers like Alana Hill, Lisa Ho and Darren Williams. And international labels like Lacoste, French Connection, United Colours of Benetton, plus many more at the David Jones Warehouse. Follow us on Facebook to be kept up to date with all the latest sales and new stores. It's time to feel good and look great thanks to Harbour Town. There's no town like it.
Good eating habits don't always start naturally. That's why we've made Jalna Podset yogurt so pure. We just put fresh milk and some friendly cultures in a pot and let nature do the rest. No cane sugar. In fact, nothing artificial at all. Jalna, a little pot of purity.
Looking after a family isn't easy.
Hey!
Protecting them can be. With Insurance Line, Australia's #1 provider of direct life insurance. Easy.
138898 Insurance Line.
Just a few minutes of harmful sun can begin to dry and damage your skin. New Vaseline Aloe Fresh SPF 15, a daily light lotion with UVA and UVB protection.
Australia Decides live. Who goes home? Plus, Jack Vidgen and Brian Adams. The X Factor Live Decider tonight.
Good morning, Dave Andrews in the Chorley Misso Sky Tracker 7. No accidents around at the moment. The major's looking fairly good. The Western Freeway a little bit slow from the top of the hill down towards the Toowong roundabouts. You run on the Riverside Expressway and Captain Cook Bridge looking pretty good. The Pacific Motorway all the way through to no dramas, and coming in from Kangaroo Point over the Story Bridge into the valley, moving fairly nicely as well. And Trilby Misso lawyers are now open on the Sunshine Coast, Browns Plains, Ipswich, Morayfield, Robina, North Lakes and the Hyperdome. Details at trilbymisso.com.au. Another check in 30 on Sunrise.
Well, ahead this hour, a music legend, Sting, direct. Haha, there he is from New York.
Also misleading and deceptive. The food labels hiding the truth. This morning on Sunrise On Demand, we'll give you the facts. And Born to be Wild, the Aussie crop catcher who scored his big break on American TV. But it's just about 8 o'clock, so it's news time. Here's Dan.
Thank you, Matt. Now, for the latest on the strike action affecting Qantas flights this morning, I'm joined by Edwina Bartholomew in Sydney, Nuala Hafner in Melbourne. First to you, Eddie. Now, baggage handlers turned up for work this morning, but there is debate about whether they were locked out.
Yeah, Nat, the unions claimed that they were locked out. These baggage handlers turned up for work around 5 o'clock this morning, only to be told they would not be needed. They were willing to work 2 hours until the strike action was supposed to start at 7 a.m, but the doors were already closed and a contingency workforce had been brought into place. So just one of the measures that Qantas has used to prevent chaos this morning, including text messaging the 6,100 passengers that have been affected by these 28 flight cancellations and 27 delays. Management staff actually have been brought in to take the place of some of the TWU members who were on strike this morning from 4 hours up until 11 a.m. Here's what Olivia Worth from Qantas had to say about this supposed lockout this morning.
Those employees that arrived at 5 a.m, they also are going to be taking strike action for 7. So what we said is that we don't need to disrupt the airline. We simply can't have an airline that switches off and on. It just doesn't work like that. They will absolutely be paid for those 2 hours of work.
Fairly smooth sailing at Sydney Airport this morning. There'll be another strike action this afternoon affecting engineers. That shall affect 6 flights going out of Sydney, around 800 passengers now.
Thanks, Eddie. Now to Nuala in Melbourne. What do the unions hope to achieve from today's strike action? Run us through it.
Morning again, Nat. Well, the union says they've been forced to take this action due to Qantas's lack of good faith negotiations. It's part of trying to nut out a new workplace agreement. They've certainly been making their point here at Melbourne Airport this morning. It had been running smoothly, but then about 20 minutes ago, many members of the union stormed the departures area, shouting out, "Workers United will never be defeated." Also handing out these pamphlets to passengers, illustrating some of their demands, including that 15% pay increase over 3 years, a 1% annual superannuation contribution increase as well, same pay for permanent and casual employees. It also outlines the CEO Alan Joyce's $5 million salary, the $522 million profit before tax, and many of their other demands asking for support. They say that Qantas has been stonewalling them in negotiations for the past 9 months. Hear what union spokesperson Scott Connolly had to say earlier this morning.
The company are yet to make any indication or any concession that they're prepared to entertain the legitimate claims that our members are seeking.
OK, certainly sounds like a stalemate. Nuala Hafner and Eddie Bartholomew, thanks for joining us to explain it. In other news, New South Wales rural firefighters are warning more homes could come under threat from that bushfire in the Blue Mountains west of Sydney. They kept a close watch on the blaze through the night after it broke out near Leura late yesterday. Crews attacked it from the ground and air and managed to bring it under control, but strong winds today could see the fire flare up again. Investigations are now underway into whether the blaze was deliberately lit. British police have arrested 6 men who are believed to have been plotting a terrorist attack. The group was arrested in the series of early morning raids on properties outside London. It's believed they were in the advanced stages of planning the attack, but authorities have refused to comment.
The main thing for us is to investigate the matter fully, professionally and fairly.
A young woman was also arrested for failing to disclose information. In finance news, the Dow closed 108 points lower this morning. The Nasdaq finished down 9. In London, the FT 100 lost 109 and Germany's DAX fell 157 points. In our region, Japan's Nikkei added 195. Hong Kong's Hang Seng dropped 537 points. All odds down 66. The ASX 200 will open at 67 weaker this morning. To the commodities, gold trading at $1,778 US an ounce. Oil $85 US a barrel. And the Aussie dollar 102 US cents, 78 Japanese yen, $1.24 New Zealand. Time for sport.
Nat Broncos coach Anthony Griffin wants Darren Lockyer to make a final call on his fitness by tomorrow. The Brisbane skipper is expected to return to training today with 3 titanium plates inserted in his face. Lockyer wants to play against Manly but is wary of distracting the side.
Lockyer's the number one advocate of this is that the team doesn't get affected with the build-up.
The Seagulls are preparing for Lockyer to be at the SFS on Friday night. Gary Ablett has won the honour of All-Australian captain despite his Gold Coast Suns winning just 3 games this season. 6 Collingwood players were named in the 22-man squad ahead of their preliminary final against Hawthorn on Friday night at the MCG. Wallabies coach Robbie Deans will keep a close eye on flanker David Pocock ahead of Friday's World Cup clash with the United States. Pocock continues to struggle with a back problem, while captain James Horwell has been cleared of a serious shoulder injury. A century from opener Phil Hughes has put Australia in the box seat going into the final day of the 3rd test against Sri Lanka. Hughes is unbeaten on 122, with Australia holding a 52-run lead at 3 for 209. It is the hot debate this morning. Darren Lockyer, will he play this weekend or not?
Up to him.
We'll wait and see.
It's all up to him.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
That's
no,
true.
would you? It's...
No, I wouldn't.
He may defy the rules, though.
Yeah.
Defy them.
You'd hope he'd wear some sort of headgear or something.
Yeah. We'd be in bed for 6 weeks with an injury like that.
And sooking.
Yeah.
All right, now Grant Denyeau's been out about in Sydney this morning soaking up the sunshine and the fresh air and a little bit of 90% oxygen as well. I was wondering why you look 10 years younger. You're regressing.
I feel fresher by the second. Fresher by the second. Mate, we're starting to feel those winds at the moment starting to increase here in Sydney. We know they've been through South Australia, Victoria, pushed into New South Wales yesterday and this morning. Strongest winds just have been recorded in Katoomba of about 90 kilometres an hour. Now that's going to slide through the Hunter up towards Queensland. Now that's the area of concern for us because over the past 3 days they had some particularly hot weather. They've had 3 consecutive days above 30. Now that hasn't happened in September before since 2003. That kind of gives you an idea how dry and warm things are at the moment. That's why there's a bit of an issue up there with fires. Now when the winds that we're feeling here reaches Queensland by tonight into tomorrow, that's where the conditions are going to be problematic. High fire dangers for southern and central parts of Queensland as we have a look at the forecast.
Sunrise weather brought to you by Claritine. Be prepared and live Claritine clear.
Clear skies across Queensland today, 29 for Cairns, some early fog and 25 for Mackay, 28 for Rockhampton and the Sunshine Coast and 30 for Brisbane. Sunshine and 28 for Burke and Coffs Harbour. Sydney mostly sunny and a top of 27 degrees. A possible shower or 2 for Canberra and 18 in showers and 15 for Albury. Partly cloudy and 20 for Mildura. Melbourne today, showers will clear just a couple of millimetres, 17 the top and a few showers and 16 for Launceston and Hobart. Adelaide, a shower or 2 and 19, showers clearing and 21 for Ceduna. Sunny and cooler conditions for Alice Springs at the moment, 26 degrees. Afternoon cloud for Katherine and 37, and Darwin partly cloudy and 32. Western Australia, a shower or 2 for Bunbury and 20, 8 few showers and 21 for Perth, partly cloudy and 23 for Kalgoorlie, sunny and 31 for Karratha and Exmouth. The cold front that is on its way through, that's dropping a few millimetres in Victoria and South Australia, will only last a day or so, and the conditions will return back to normal. More with the details in half an hour. See you then, guys.
Well, it is hard to believe that Sting is about to turn 60. The British singer is an international sex symbol and still one of the world's most popular artists.
Now, in a moment, we'll speak to the man himself live from New York. But first, Sting's incredible career.
We'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we lie in fields of gold.
For 25 years, Sting has given us hit after hit.
Ticket everywhere I in New York.
His songs have won Grammys and won over millions of fans. So on the eve of his 60th birthday, the former frontman for The Police has put together a collection of his best solo tracks. We said hit after hit after hit after hit, and Sting joins us from New York right now. Good morning to you, Sting. 25 years as a solo artist. Why do you reckon then that you've been so successful?
Just lucky, just really lucky. It sounds like a long time, but it passed so quickly. It's amazing.
Do you ever look back? Because turning 60 is 60's the new 50, they tell me. Do you look back at all the things that you've done and are surprised by it all?
You know, I'm rarely reflective or nostalgic in that sense, but I was kind of forced in this instance to look back on my last 25 years and assess whether I'd, made use of that time or not. So I rarely listen to my own music, so it was interesting.
And did you think you had made the most of that time?
I think I've done a pretty good job, actually, on reflection, yeah. And I think this box set does reflect that, so I hope people like it.
Hey, Sting, on the intro to that package there, we mentioned that you're an international sex symbol. How do you handle that talk? It's been going on for a long time.
Oh, I handle it extremely well.
There are worse things to be called.
There are worse things, frankly. No, that's fine. I don't take it that seriously, but it's fine.
Got to have a laugh. Hey, tell us about the birthday concert. It's going to be a pretty star-studded affair.
Well, I'm not going to be very discreet about my 60th birthday. I'm inviting lots of my friends and colleagues along to celebrate with me. Bruce Springsteen's coming, Lady Gaga, Vince Gill, Stevie Wonder, Billy Joel. It's not a shabby lineup at all, but they have to sing my songs. That's the only stipulation, so I'll torture them.
Yeah, that's absolutely cool. How do you maintain that look at the age of 59? Are you a fitness fanatic? I mean, do you feel 59?
What, this look?
Yeah, that look.
I work out every day. It's a combination of discipline and vanity. And I just got the Peter Garrett haircut.
Nice.
But no, it's okay.
But obviously, we know that you do yoga and your Pilates and you're very, very fit, and that obviously helps, I would imagine, on stage as much as off, as far as being able to do what you do and doing it for as long, the longevity.
Well, singing is a pretty athletic job. You can't be unfit and do that job. So that's part and parcel of what I do.
Hey, Sting, it was 2007, I think, when you came here last time with the Police. I actually saw you in Melbourne. Are you going to come back? Would there be another reunion?
No, the Police won't come back. But I, I've been back to Australia since. I was there with my symphony orchestra last year. So I like Australia a lot. It's a good audience for me. So I will definitely come back.
Going through, and this is probably the hardest question to ask because I'm sure everybody asks you, but going through your songs, the lists of what you've done, is there one that you hold most special? Is there a particular one, and I won't use the word favourite, but that you're most fond of, that you're most proud of, that is sort of, I guess, your own personal anthem?
I don't choose one above the other. Like I don't choose one of my kids to say you're my favourite. They're basically one song. They're all different facets of one story, which is my story. So no, I don't have a favourite. But I don't shy away from doing songs that people want to hear. If you come to one of my concerts, I will sing Roxanne. I will sing Every Breath You Take. I will sing Englishman in New York. So I'm not one of those artists who shy away from what they've done before. I always find something new to do within the song. So that's important to me.
And I found it interesting, mate, when you said earlier you don't really listen to your own stuff. So who do you listen to these days?
I'm actually composing new material, so I've got a lot of music in my head. My kids play me a lot of stuff, so they keep me au fait with what's happening. They play me their own stuff. But I've got enough music in my head to be getting on with.
All right, you're going to have Happy Birthday in your head soon, so we wish you all the best for your 60th.
Yeah.
Hope to see you down
That's not one of my favourite songs, no.
You can put a new twist on it, we have no doubt. It's really lovely to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Nice to talk to you, Sunrise. God bless. Bye-bye.
You too, and there you go. And the definitive box set, Sting 25 Years, is out Friday week. As he was telling us, it includes 3 CDs, a DVD of previously unreleased concert footage, and there's a book. And look out for the single and double disc editions of Sting, the best of 25 years, out in October.
You're right now after that.
What a legend, absolutely legend.
He's a genius, isn't he? You shouldn't look that good when you're 59.
No, you should.
Yeah, true. After the break, the dodgy food labels that could be putting your health at risk.
What to look out for, that's next in Sunrise On Demand.
See Australia's top polo players and horses in action when Brisbane plays exclusive host to the Australian Open Polo, presented by Australand Hamilton Reach. Enjoy 4 blockbuster polo clashes and plenty of live entertainment. Tickets from $20 through Ticketek.
We're all multitaskers. That's why Synovus Once Daily Multivitamins have 28 active ingredients and cost less than $5.50 a month. Synovus Once Daily, the multivitamin for the multitasker.
The V8 Supercars Armour All Gold Coast 600, October 21 to 23. Race by day, then rock all night. 3 days of racing, 2 nights of concerts, all from just $136. The Armour All Gold Coast 600. There's awesome in every moment. Book now at Ticketek.
I have a lot of patients who think they sweat more than normal. The good news is you don't need a prescription. You need Rexona Clinical Protection. It's twice as effective as a basic antiperspirant with revolutionary tri-solid technology that fights sweat for 48 hours. Applied at night for shower-resistant, long-lasting protection. Excessive sweating is controllable with Rexona Clinical Protection.
Woohoo! Fabulous floor tiles, just $10 a metre.
Yep, the factory was overstocked, so Beaumont scooped them up to clear.
$10.
1 week only, though. Fabulous floor tiles, $10 a metre, this week only.
Nice one, Beaumonts.
Life after my budget is amazingly different. I know that I'm not going to get those phone calls. I'm not going to get that fear when I get mail.
Visit mybudget.com.au.
The new Samsung Smart TV. Immerse yourself in a world of endless entertainment. Experience Samsung Smart TV at Video Pro.
This program proudly brought to you by the Maya Beauty Book, out now.
All right, this is the segment that you voted to see this morning. If you've ever attempted to read a food label, you'll know just how confusing they can be. Often manufacturers don't even use words to describe what's in the product. Instead, they opt for a whole lot of numbers.
Talk about confusing, because those numbers translate into preservatives, colourings and flavour enhancers. So which ones are safe, what do they really mean, and just what nasties are food labels hiding?
All right, this morning, Sunrise On Demand, we want to get to the bottom of it. To do that, we've got a man who's written the whole book on the subject, author of The Chemical Maze. Bill Statham is here, along with our nutritionist, Susie Burrell. Good morning to both of you. Bill, I'll just start with you. Some of the additives then that we should be avoiding, because your book sort of got all the whole range in there.
Yep.
Well, colours, quite a few of the colours. Just to pick a couple, tartrazine is one of the main ones, which goes by the number 102.
And what colour is that?
That's a yellow colour.
Okay.
Yep. Sunset yellow, which is also a yellow colour, which is 110. 104 is another one, which is another yellow colour. And then there's 133, which is a blue colour, brilliant blue. And some of these are banned as well. Yeah. So
a banned?
A banned in other countries.
Oh, okay, so not here, but they're banned.
Yeah, they're
overseas.
not banned overseas. Some of them are banned overseas.
It's a bit dodgy.
So if you spot something that's bright blue, don't go for it. Don't even look at the number.
That's right, yeah. Just be careful of it, yeah.
It sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
So these are the numbers. Why are they banned overseas but not here?
There's been some concern for a while about artificial colours, and I think consumers don't want these products in their food. We don't want it. We don't want artificial colour. We don't want to be eating things that we think possibly aren't safe or have been banned overseas. So as soon as you see something that's very brightly coloured, whether it's yellow for children, particularly the reds, it's a cause for concern because there has been some question about these long-term overseas.
But see, that's interesting because the reason why they're brightly coloured is to go towards the children, attract the children.
Exactly, and when we look at these foods, you know, breakfast cereal, 2-minute noodles have got flavour enhancer in it, MSG. Rice crackers, the actual soft drinks, fruit juices, lollies, all of those foods are kids' foods. And of course, what my concern is as a dietitian is that they get a taste for these foods. And so they're wanting foods that are very richly coloured, very richly flavoured, and that's eating habits that they develop for life, and that's a concern. And so we need to make consumers aware of it. So in having a book and there's iPhone apps, as soon as you see the numbers on the food labels, that's a cause for concern. If it says flavour enhancer, that means it's got things added that perhaps we don't want in the foods.
So what do we avoid then? You've shown the numbers. We had the numbers on screen. So this pile down the end, are these the ones that have got the worst
Well,
in
some
them?
of these have actually got additives that are banned overseas. 122, number 122 and 124 are two additives that are actually banned in Canada and the US.
And why have they banned them? What are the side effects of those chemicals?
Well, there's one colouring which is 123. I'm not sure which one that's in here, but that was banned in the United States in 1976 because it caused tumours or cancer in animal studies.
Some of the other side effects?
Some of the behavioural things, of course, the skin itching is a common one with the flavour enhancers. Parents will repeatedly say, I think going back to the 70s, the good old red cordial and the behavioural issues. So any parent who's hosted a party and fed lots of blue and yellow foods will say that the behaviour definitely is linked to that. There's some evidence.
That's why you serve it last at the end of the party.
You send them home. And there's even some concern about the mixture of preservatives, which are particularly found in soft drinks and juices, and the artificial colours, with some neurological concerns. So that's enough for me as a dietitian to say to my clients, avoid these products as much as you can.
Susie, but can you have them in small doses? I mean, is it okay to have, a small glass of the red cordial or anything like that? Or are you just saying avoid them together?
What we know from the colourings in particular is that it's a cumulative effect. So the more you have, the more likely you're going to have these issues. But I guess the concern is that if a child has one glass, they want more. So it's that programming effect. So if you can, avoiding them. And if you do want to have party foods, if you've got a kid's party on or you want to treat, all you have to do is look for a product that says no artificial colours and flavours. Because they do label quite clearly, and that makes it slightly easier because often we don't have time to be checking those minute labels that of course take hours to look at.
And one of my main concerns is some of these have been shown to cause hyperactivity, ADHD symptoms in children. They go off and they get medication for that, which they could be on for a long time. Yet the simple solution may be to take
them off the food.
Take the
Can
additives
you give
out.
us then a couple of alternatives to some of these? I mean, look, I'll be really honest, the Fruit Loops and a few things probably are not good. But what about the noodles? So this is the good pile, is that right?
And I think in the 80s, MSG got a big, they took it out of everything. And now we start to look, it's in the 2-minute noodles, it's in the flavoured chips. So check your rice crackers, check your ice creams, check your lollies, and it will clearly say...
So are they okay? Is a paddle pop okay?
They do, because it says no artificial colours and flavours. So if you do a quick scan of that label, you'll recognise all the names of the ingredients. And that is a much, much better choice for times when you do want those party foods and don't want to have completely bland cupboards. And the same with the flavoured snacks. Really check that and avoid the ones that say flavour enhancer, 621 or MSG.
So you can take that side of the table when you leave.
The crew's going to have this time.
The crew's going to have 100 paddle pops this morning.
Brilliant.
It's going to be a fast end of the show.
And as we said, it's all in Bill's book. It's called The Chemical Maze. It is available now, and there it is. And
as an iPhone app, which is so handy
better.
because you're in the supermarket, you can quickly plug in and have a look and see.
These things are also in cosmetics as well. So you know. So you
Getting
have
it
to
from everywhere.
It's a whole other issue.
All right, Bill, thank you. Good to see you.
Thanks,
Good to see you too,
mate.
Susie.
Thanks, Mel.
Now, let's check your choices for tomorrow's show. Option A, Sunrise on Demand. Enough is enough. When should you quit your job? Is a leading question. Option B, Battle of the Sexes. Do co-ed schools make kids dumber? Or option C is Birthright. Should home labour be allowed?
What do you want to see this time? Sunrise tomorrow. Vote now. Tweet A, B or C with the hashtag Sun7, or you can visit our Facebook page, or you can go to the Soapbox. Remember, that's your show. It's your call. What do you want to see?
Now, ahead, George Clooney. Jeez,
That's
we've
what
had
I want to
Sting.
see.
We've had Sting, now George Clooney. George takes a shot at his bachelor lifestyle.
For next news and sport and weather together, you're watching Sunrise on 7.
This year, our beauties and geeks will be turned upside down.
Please welcome Helen and Troy.
Who said a boy can't be a beauty and a girl a geek? Can this beautiful boy transform this geeky girl?
The new couple is serious trouble.
New Beauty and the Geek starts Thursday, 8:30 on 7.
I love being on Light and Easy because it is convenient. Being a single mum, having a 3-year-old daughter, I find that it's just really, really simple. The meals themselves do taste really good, and knowing that they taste good but are still nutritionally balanced is actually a bonus. I lost a total of 15 kilos, and anytime you're successful with something and then that influences other people positively, it's always a good thing.
Great food, easy weight loss and time-saving convenience. With so many benefits, Light and Easy is better for everyone.
30 seconds auto cleaner. Cleans autos in seconds. Clean auto deck. Clean auto driveway. Clean auto seat. Clean all auto. Outdoors instantly. With 30 seconds outdoor cleaner.
The tension is certainly mounting now. The marshals are set. Oh, and the flag is down here in the driveway GP. Everyone loves to race. So race to book your next party at Kingston Park Raceway. It's a hell of a day out.
Ethical Nutrients IBS Support contains an extensively researched ingredient for the symptomatic relief of medically diagnosed irritable bowel syndrome to help you break free from the symptoms of IBS.
Woohoo! Fabulous floor tiles, just $10 a metre.
Yep, the factory was overstocked, so Beaumont scooped them up to clear.
$10.
1 week only, though. Fabulous floor tiles, $10 a metre, this week only.
Nice one, Beaumonts.
I love being on Light and Easy because it is convenient. The food is great. I actually like the taste of the food, and it's nutritionally sound, so I don't have to worry about what I'm eating.
Great food, easy weight loss and time-saving convenience. With so many benefits, Light and Easy is better for everyone.
Is your term deposit really a sweet deal? Some banks might not give you a great rate when you roll over your term deposit, but I always get a competitive new rate plus a loyalty bonus. And I even choose the exact maturity date. It's a triple sweet deal. How sweet is yours?
For fairer banking, open an ING Direct personal term deposit online today and enjoy a sweet 6% per annum for 6 months, plus a little extra when you roll over. ING Direct.
It's your money.
Good morning, Dave Andrews in the Chorley Misso Sky Tracker 7, looking fairly good on the roads, no accidents around. A big yellow duck sitting in the Brisbane River, having a good time watching the traffic flow fairly nicely on Coronation Drive. Also on the Pacific Motorway, you'll find that moving fairly nicely up past Garden City, but still very foggy out to the west and the south of the city this morning. Chorley Misso lawyers are now open on the Sunshine Coast, Browns Plains, Ipswich, Morayfield, Robina, North Lakes and the Hyperdome. Details at chorleymisso.com.au. Have a safe day on the roads. We'll check it again tomorrow morning here on Sunrise.
When we need a car, we call Red Spot Car Rentals. No funny business, just serious car rental with no hidden extras.
Good, just just a snippet of the incredible vocals of 16-year-old Adelaide teen Reese Maston on X Factor last night. After that opening performance on the show, he's already been touted as the winner of the series. He even had all the judges agreeing that it was something very special.
Wow! What an amazing way to kick off X Factor. Holy enough! I have to say, Guy, well done. But he's from my hometown.
Of course, you guys sound the same.
That was incredible. It was incredible.
I wanted that to be terrible.
Me too.
That was absolutely brilliant. Like Mel said, what a way to start X Factor 2011. Good on you, mate. That was fantastic.
Wow, the first act is eliminated tonight. Now, you were saying that he's just brilliant.
I know, I just think it's amazing that a 16-year-old can walk out on that stage, have a look at it, the lights, the cameras, the action, and he can just perform like that and own the stage. I think it's great.
16.
Yeah, it's really good to watch.
It's what we were talking about with Ronan yesterday about not the fact that they've got this talent, because there's so much talent around, but the confidence at that age.
And the presence, that stage presence.
It's called
not
the
just
X
singing.
Factor.
Hey.
Yeah. It's a good name for a show.
Yeah, but it's so hard to get, you know, and as Ronan said, you can't teach that. No one can ever teach that. You have it or you don't.
What about Guy's jacket last night?
Not so much.
Jury out?
No.
That had the X Factor.
Yeah.
Coming up, Australia's new wildlife wrangler. Just wait till you see him in action.
It is time for the news, though. Here's Nat.
Thanks very much, Mel. There will be glum faces within the Labor Party this morning, with the latest news poll showing the Gillard government has fallen to a new low. Labor's primary vote has slumped to just 26%, falling 1 point in the last fortnight. The coalition dropped 2 points to 48%. It comes as the opposition refused to support changes to the Migration Act that would allow asylum seekers to be processed in Malaysia.
If the government wants offshore processing, it can have offshore processing. It should have offshore processing, and it should be at Nauru, and it could have had Nauru offshore processing at any time.
Despite a drop in support for the government, the Prime Minister's satisfaction rating has jumped 4 points. Tony Abbott's personal approval rating has fallen 5 points to 34%. Qantas passengers are facing delays and flight cancellations today as ground workers take nationwide strike action. At Melbourne Airport, members of the Transport Workers Union have begun picketing, demanding better pay and job security. They say Qantas has failed to take their concerns seriously.
There is a lot of talk about job security here, but this sort of action, in fact, flies in the face of job security. We need to come back to the negotiating table. We encourage the union to do so. We're very much committed to those talks.
More than 6,000 passengers could be affected by the industrial action. American President Barack Obama has unveiled plans to cut the country's deficit by nearly $3 trillion. As well as big spending cuts, his scheme would see an increase in the tax paid by wealthy Americans in order to meet his ambitious target.
If we're going to make spending cuts, many of which we wouldn't make if we weren't facing such large budget deficits, then it's only right that we ask everyone to pay their fair share.
Republicans say they will fight the proposal, accusing Obama of waging class warfare. And finally, model Kate Moss was front row as British label Mulberry unveiled its new season look at London Fashion Week. The supermodel was joined by Twilight actress Kirsten Stewart for the vibrant catwalk show. Mulberry creative director Emma Hill says next season's colourful designs have been inspired by the classic British seaside. Here's sport.
This Sunrise Sport Report brought to you by Swiss. Tired? Stressed? You'll feel better on Swiss.
Collingwood has dominated this year's All-Australian team with 6 players getting the call-up. It further cements their domination of the competition over the past 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Hawks forward Lance Franklin is battling a stomach bug. Broncos skipper Darren Lockyer is expected to show his injured face at training today as Brisbane continues preparations for Friday's grand final qualifier against Manly. Phil Hughes may have saved Australia and himself with a well-timed century in the 3rd test against Sri Lanka. The opener is unbeaten on 122, with the Aussies heading into the final day with a 52-run lead at 3 for 209. Australia's Mick Fanning has survived an early scare at the Hurley Pro in California. The former world champ has struggled at the last 2 events but won his round 2 elimination at Trestles. Good on you, Mick. But every time we have surfing, that music just appears like that. It's quite incredible. All right, let's go to the weather now with Grant Denyer and check out what the day is looking like. It's beautiful where you are at the Pyrmont Bridge.
Looking good. Wind starting to pick up, mate. That's sort of the feature of the cold front coming through. It's going to make its way to Queensland. Now, over the last couple of days, the southern part of the state has been blanketed by thick fog, which is actually smoke. These cool nights are sort of keeping the smokes stuck to the ground and it just hasn't gone away. Now, the winds are going to start to pick up tonight into tomorrow. That should blow a little bit of it away, but the danger there being, of course, is a high fire danger in Queensland, and there's some existing fires that are currently underway, so there are fears that they will be further flamed. That's the major headline of the day as we take a look at the forecast for the final time.
Sunrise weather brought to you by Claritine. Be prepared and live Claritine clear.
Dry, warm and potentially damaging northerly winds are being forced into southeast Australia ahead of a front. The active cold front is spreading a cooler change and a few showers into Victoria and Tasmania of a couple of mils. Brisk westerly winds are generating some isolated showers over South Australia and southern WA as well. Brisbane, a fine top of 30. Mostly sunny and 27 for Sydney. A wet day for Canberra and 18. Melbourne, showers clearing and 17. Hobart, a few early showers and 16. A shower or two and 19 for Adelaide. Perth, a few showers and 21, partly cloudy and 32 degrees for Darwin. So a wonderful day at the moment. Things are starting to change. The cold front is moving backwards out of Victoria and that'll be gone by tomorrow, so the conditions should return to normal. We'll see you tomorrow.
You're a cheeky man.
You look like... Yeah. All right.
What?
Nothing.
What?
You have a good day.
Love to play poker with you.
Happy Tuesday.
And poker face. You give everything away. See you tomorrow, mate.
All right. Hey, the Dulux Jelly Beans and Me promotion is now on. When you buy 8 litres or more of Dulux wash and wear or weatherproof paint, you'll receive a Dulux toy dog and jelly beans. There's the puppy dog and there are the jelly beans. You get them free.
There were the jelly beans.
That'll be right. We tried to swap sides, so Nat had the jelly beans.
Were you just texting the dog or emailing the dog?
Yeah, we're just working some stuff out on our iPads.
Right, OK. Now, you could also win one of 5 Dulux Home Makeover prizes, including paints, colour consultancy, thank you, and $2,000 in cash. All you got to do is tell us in 25 words or less what your kids have tried to convince you to do. yahoo7.com.au/sunrise is the website to enter. Make sure you keep watching each and every day to see if you've won.
And yesterday's winner, Michelle from Victoria, her kids tried to get a party organised for a friend that actually didn't exist.
Nice.
They wanted the lollies and the fun stuff. Well done, I reckon.
You could donate those lollies.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can get on the prize.
There's going to be so many left by
There's any left.
Yeah, not.
Coming up after the break, should taxpayers fund gym memberships for overweight Australians?
And by George, he's single. George Clooney takes a shot at his bachelor life. Next on Sunrise.
I'm feeling like a star, you can't stop my shine. I'm loving cloud 9, my head's in the sky. I'm solo, I'm riding solo.
Our final 12 have performed live. Tonight, Australia decides who goes on and who goes home. Plus, Brian Adams and performing live on the X Factor Live Decider tonight.
Water that's not dried properly can leave spots. Finish Shine and Dry Rinse Aid helps remove water drops for dry dishes that sparkle. No drops, no spots, just shine and dry. Finish, the diamond standard.
Because every body is unique, every Tempur mattress behaves uniquely too. Soft where you want it and firm where you need it. Tempur conforms to the shape of your body, not the other way around. It lets you find your most comfortable position and supports you there, giving you a feeling of complete weightlessness and the best night's sleep possible. Request a free info pack at Tempur.com.
The new Samsung Smart TV. Immerse yourself in a world of endless entertainment. Experience Samsung Smart TV at Video Pro.
All women's fashion tops reduced to $10. 4 days only. Over 123 style and colour combinations. There's batwing tops, gypsy tops, racerbacks, embroidered tops, tunics and more. Some have sleeves and some are sleeveless. Some are longer in length and some have lace trims. All women's fashion tops reduced to $10. 4 days only.
Sometimes I feel like
Love that car.
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 Love that car. Ready? Love that car.
Love that car.
What's new, Tech?
My toupee. Like it, Al?
Not as much as our Save, Save, Save sale.
Say again?
Get triple the savings with Altec. Save with free installation. Save with free council fees. Save with no interest ever finance. Altec's Save, Save, Save sale is on new patios, extensions or carports. So get set for summer. Call 1800 084 743 now. Bye, Al.
Bye, Tech.
Bye, Altec.
Darling, don't you ever get bored?
No, not really.
You know, something different would be great.
Mmm.
Tonight, I want you to do that special thing that you do.
Hey?
I just want to lay back and relax.
Okay.
Great.
With half the fat of red meat and a valuable source of iron, everyone's falling in love with pork again. Get some pork on your fork.
Now there's more of them to love.
We got a new family member.
Who? Wait till you meet this little firecracker on 7's new rafters tonight.
Coming up at 9 o'clock, meet the boomerang generation. They're successful, ambitious, but why won't they leave home? Plus, bingo wings banished. Easy exercise you can do from the couch. Toning up has never been simpler. And frocks, shocks, and backstage gossip. All the behind-the-scenes action from the 2011 Emmy Awards on The Morning Show next.
It is 8:40 on Sunrise, and doctors have come up with a controversial treatment for overweight and obese patients. The Australian Medical Association is proposing doctors prescribe gym sessions and personal trainers for larger patients, but taxpayers will foot the bill, and the plan allowing the patients to claim back the expense from Medicare. So should taxpayers support overweight patients? Well, let's put it to the Angels this morning. We're joined by media commentator Sammy Lucas. Good to see you, Sammy. Kerry McCallum from InStyle magazine. And, of course, Nat Barr as well. Morning, Angels. Let's start with you on this one. Sammy, I mean, obesity is a massive problem. This is one step in going towards fixing it. What do you think?
Well, we definitely need more incentives to get Australians healthy, but I don't think just focusing on the exercise is enough. Have they really thought this through? Because we all know that for seriously overweight or unhealthy people to get fit and healthy requires a complete lifestyle change and a mental mindset change as well. So it's one thing for these overweight people to go and enjoy their, Medicare subsidised personal training session, but then what about if they, on the way home, stop through Macca's to get dinner, followed by a Krispy Kreme chaser for dessert? Then the personal training session is a complete waste of taxpayer money. So they need to look at the overall picture, not just focus on the exercise.
Kerry, there are plenty of other people who could benefit health-wise by going to the gym regularly as well, not just obese people. So should it be one for all?
Look, I don't think we could really afford to do that, but I do believe that this is a program that's worth trialling. I think that a lot of people, losing weight is a complex issue, and it's not something where you can just go and get on a treadmill. People need help motivating. They are working longer hours, they're tired, they're supporting families on low wages. It might just be the leg up or the lift that they need to motivate and change their life, and I think it's better that we pay for this help now and this support now to give people the tools to live a better life than pay for the effects down the track, because obesity is a massive impost on our health system, and I think we need to support people.
Which is something that we talked about this morning. If you combat it now, you don't have to pay for it later. Either way, Australia's going to pay for it. Are you happy to pay?
Yeah, look, I'm torn because part of me says we all have the ability to walk outside without needing a gym and get in a pair of shoes and start walking around the block and increase that every day. We all have the ability to do that. But as you said, obesity is different. You know, people aren't planning to be obese. There are a lot of underlying issues. And if we're paying for it down the track, we're all paying, maybe this is a good idea.
Maybe though
to
we
start
should
addressing it.
start using it as an education tool when people are younger so that it doesn't get to that point. Spend the money in schools on education programs.
And healthy food. A lot of people write in every time we do this story and say subsidies for healthy food, fruit and veg is getting so expensive, and that's a big issue too.
Alrighty, let's move on to this one. A new survey says some Aussies want sex 3 times a day, even more. But only a small minority are getting as much as they'd like, if you know what I mean. 30% of Aussies... What are you giggling for?
I told it me when you said that.
I haven't even started. 37% of Australians consider 3 to 6 times a week is ideal, but just 16% of those are in a relationship, and 4% of singles are actually having their preferred level done. Don't look at me like that, Sammy Lucas. Floor's yours.
50%, almost 50% of the people surveyed say they want sex 3 times a day. Now, I'm sorry, but the common sense in me says the only people that are having sex 3 times a day are Tiger Woods or couples that are desperately trying to get pregnant. I don't know anyone that's having sex 3 times a day. I don't know anyone who wants to have sex 3 times a day. Who's got the time?
15-year-old boys
Who's
maybe
got the
dreaming
energy?
about it.
Unless the doctors, you know, prescribe them a little lifestyle prescription of a little blue pill or something. But it's just not happening.
Bit of record. Nat, why do we talk about this in the public arena?
Dave, I have trouble with that. I don't know whether it was 12 years at Catholic school, but I have trouble talking about sex on breakfast television. I have trouble commenting on it. My prudeness is coming out. What
You have
about
children
Karen?
though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But I just don't know
So you
whether
know
we
what
need
it
to.
is.
Do we need to talk to like Australia about it all the time? It seems to be always out there, and I
love talking about sex.
Well, maybe they do. Maybe it's, I'm the only one who has trouble commenting on national TV.
I'm with you there.
Hey,
I'm
Kerry,
with you there.
we were discussing this a little earlier as well. When does the spark fade, you reckon?
Oh, God. Is my husband watching? My spark hasn't faded. But I think, yeah, it's obviously a little bit different when you first, experience the thrill of a new relationship to, 10 years and a few kids down the track. But I do think, sexual chemistry is really important. It's the fundamental thing, and it may change as the relationship grows, but it's still a really important part of life.
Do they need to do 2 separate surveys when they talk about sex? One for married people, one for single people?
I'd love to know where that survey came from. 3 times a day. I think that came down at the pub at the end of the day somewhere. All right, ladies, thank you for joining us this morning. Sammy, Kerry and Nat. See you soon. Time now for entertainment news.
The Sunrise Showbiz Report, brought to you by New Idea. For all the latest news, goss and more, including the new pull-out cooking section, on sale now.
And Nelson Aspin is our man. Michael Jackson's Dr. Conrad Murray is currently involved in a manslaughter trial over the King of Pop's death, Nelson. But a new twist has been unveiled in the case. What is it?
More twists than a Jackie Collins blockbuster novel, I tell you. Back in January, the pharmacist who claimed to supply Dr. Murray with all of that propofol anesthetic by having it shipped to Dr. Murray's girlfriend's address was going to testify to this. And then all of a sudden he went missing. It was believed that he had fled to Thailand. Well, prosecutors say they have found the pharmacist and he is willing to testify. So that could spell trouble for Dr. Murray's defense. Opening statements are scheduled for September 27th, and the judge thinks the trial could last about a month.
Wow, because it seems to have taken so long to get to this point. Now let's talk about George Clooney. This is why I love him. He pokes fun at himself and his bachelor status in a Norwegian commercial. What's the ad for? What's he doing?
Well, stars love to do these foreign commercials because they make big bucks without seeming like they're getting their hands dirty doing advertisements here in the States. So George Clooney does this one for a Norwegian bank, and the message of this is kind of like you can dream big and anything can happen. And that's just what happens to the woman who wakes up after a big night out. Take a look. This is for you, Mel.
I was letting you sleep. Like your dress. Looks better off than on. Oh, I want to show you this. Come here. I have been going online looking for places for us in Lillestrøm. Lillestrøm? Yeah, look at that.
what happens if you bank at the right institution, Mel. Anything can happen.
Very funny. I do like it. Thanks for that this morning, Nelson. Talk to you tomorrow.
See you.
Now, big happy birthday to Bailey. Wave. There you go, buddy. Thanks for coming down this morning. Hey, when we come back, Australia's Bear Grylls, the croc wrangler, is set to become an international star. He's next.
Underage and undercover, the biggest police blitz on teenage drinking. Hundreds caught. The investigation police want all parents and teens to see. On 7's Today Tonight.
Who does big deals for the big games, like a 40-inch Sanyo Full HD TV delivered and hooked up at your place? Who does this for only $4.99? Dick does.
Testing. Attention, everyone. This announcement is to announce a very important announcement.
The survey results are in, people. Well done. iSelect are saving the average Queensland health insurance customer a whopping $610 a year. So I want you all to keep doing exactly what you're doing, except for you two in the stationery cupboard. Seriously, get a boardroom.
To see if you can save $610 on your health insurance, call iSelect on 13 19 20.
We've given Australia's best-selling small sedan a serious workout. Introducing the new Holden Cruise SRIV. With performance suspension and ITI turbo, it's quick off the mark and powerful up hills. It looks like a sports model should, and if you're into gadgets, it's got a 7-inch sat-nav, it can store around 2,000 songs, and there's sensor key technology that lets you get in and take off without taking the key from your pocket. The new Holden Cruise SRIV. It's not just a small car, it's Australia's small car. Go better.
I reckon we've got a long, hot summer coming up, and for $8, you can't keep much cooler than in a pair of shorts made out of microfiber, one of the lightest fabrics known to man. It keeps you feeling cool and dry by drawing moisture away from the body. Throw in a side patch pocket and a stretchy drawstring waist, and you're set. Rivers microfiber shorts, $8, 4 days only.
It was always hard to get our budget actually under control.
It was stressful knowing that you're basically living pay to pay. And thanks to my budget, we now don't have that worry. You know, we've gone from having lots of debt to no debt. And the fees are reasonable, very reasonable.
My budget are experts at getting people out of debt and saving again. Call for a no-obligation consultation or visit mybudget.com.au.
Daddy, you should buy Dulux.
Why?
Wash and wear is the only paint that utilises barrier technology.
Really?
Buy 8 litres of Dulux Wash and Wear or Weather Shield and receive a free can filled with a toy Dulux dog and jelly beans.
This program brought to you by the Motorola Zoom on the Telstra Mobile Network.
Welcome back. If you haven't already heard of Matt Wright, you're about to become very familiar with the Aussie croc catcher.
His new TV show, Outback Wrangler, will soon be beamed into 90 million homes around the world.
This croc is about 3.5 metres, 10, 11 foot long. Very strong, very powerful, and very angry.
Up close and on a mission.
If I keep that stick in her mouth, she'll chew on that. It's going to tire her out. And once she's tired out, then you crate her over there. No, you just pass it to her. Right on. So you just give her a crate. She can chew the crate, give her a death roll, give her a smack on the head, and just move her off.
For more than 10 years, Matt's business has been relocating rogue crocs. He knows timing is key.
It's crucial to know when to move in and when to back off.
From the air, Matt can get into the most remote places.
There's got one nest in here. Looks like there's crocodiles on the nest. off the side. I'll walk in there and see if I can get her to move.
Look out, coming. Oh, she just had a crack, you feel that? Yeah, just keep an eye on her.
His aim here is to collect crocodile eggs, but he's up against the elements.
Has to be one of the worst places you could ever imagine. You got mosquitoes, leeches, mud. It's over 100 degrees.
Just some of the many dangers that come with the job.
Another day at the office, really.
Isn't it? Well, Matt joins us now. Good morning to you. So, how did you get into croc wrangling?
Ever since I was young.
Yep.
Worked with a lot of reptiles and eventually got my helicopter licence and started working with crocodiles and just developed that over a period of years.
Of all the animals, right?
Yeah, of all the animals you could pick. So, I mean, you've been doing this for a long time now, so you and crocs, I mean, is it fair to say you get on, or you respect their position, they respect yours?
You respect the croc, you understand the animal.
Do they ever respect you? Or they always want to go you?
Most of the time they come at you, and but it's like any job. Once you know what you're doing, it's easy to work it out.
You're about to become an international superstar. 90 million homes, as we just mentioned. Are you ready for that?
A little bit nervous, but there's going to be a lot of people watching it. Hopefully they all like it.
What makes you nervous, though? Is it the cameras? Is it the fact that people are going to recognise you all over the place?
Live interviews.
Like this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see compared to a croc, this is scary. Yeah.
Although you've read television beautifully, it's exactly the same. Crocodiles ready to snap everywhere.
Yeah. No, it's, I guess, showing everyone my work and how we're going to try and move these animals and relocate them, and trying to find the balance between man and animal is hopefully the end result.
Inevitable comparisons probably to Steve Irwin. That okay with you?
Yeah, definitely, because crocodiles are one of my main jobs, and it has been for quite some time. And you do get like told or asked if you're going to be the next Steve Irwin. Now, it's not that I don't want to be the next Steve Irwin. I don't want to take that away from Steve. He made his mark, and if I can make a mark like Steve did, I'd be happy.
Nice answer.
You got all your fingers. I'm assuming you still got all your toes. What are the bad injuries you get? You had any good ones?
Oh, horse I think threw me off one day.
A horse has thrown you off?
Yeah.
You wrestle crocodiles and you've been tossed off by a horse?
Yeah. It bust my leg pretty bad. That was probably the worst one I got. Crocodiles, if you get hit by a croc, there's not too much to come back after.
Well, there's no injuries, you reckon? You're outside? Okay, all right. I won't ask about that one.
Mate, best of luck.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best overseas and keep cracking.
Yeah, I will. I'll keep pushing on.
Come back and visit us. All the best. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Mel. Thanks, Matty.
Just ahead on the morning show, what empty nest? How to deal with adult kids who move back home.
But there's more of Sunrise in just a moment as we take a look at Adelaide through the Jetstar Skycam. You have a good day.
At Suncorp or wherever stories break, 7 News is Queensland's #1.
Spring into action and clean up with Still. Like this Still blower from $249. And Still hedge trimmers now only $399. Keep spring under control with one of our 400 local Still dealers.
Testing. Attention, everyone. This announcement is to announce a very important announcement.
The survey results are in, people. Well done. iSelect are saving the average Queensland health insurance customer a whopping $610 a year. So I want you all to keep doing exactly what you're doing, except for you two in the stationery cupboard. Seriously, get a boardroom.
To see if you can save $610 on your health insurance, call iSelect on 13 19 20.
The new Samsung Smart TV. Immerse yourself in a world of endless entertainment. Experience Samsung Smart TV at Video Pro.
From the makers of Mr. Bean comes the ultimate secret agent. You can't get away from Johnny English. Get ready.
It's all coming back to me.
For Johnny English Reborn. Only at the movies now.
I started getting carried away with getting things on hire purchase. I thought the only option I had was to go bankrupt. I'm glad somebody was there to go to for help.
Visit mybudget.com.au.
Daddy, you should buy Dulux.
Why?
Wash and wear is the only paint that utilises barrier technology.
Really?
Buy 8 litres of Dulux Wash and Wear or Weather Shield and receive a free can filled with a toy Dulux dog and jelly beans.
Be inspired. Great ideas, captivating stories, top columnists. Be entertained by Brisbane's best read, BMag, the magazine that provides a world of information to the people of Brisbane in your letterbox.
You're lost in a thick forest, and it's getting late. Could you find your way out before it gets dark? The one could. The new search for Australia's most gifted psychic is on 7. Who is the one?
Sunrise, proudly brought to you by Maya. Maya is my store. And the Motorola Zoom from Telstra.
Look, we have some news just in from the New South Wales Rural Fire Service. That fire activity picking up in the Blue Mountains, apparently. We're showing you footage from yesterday. It's apparently now threatening properties again, those fires in the Blue Mountains. Additional firefighters in the area, and we will have details right through the day on 7 News. So we'll keep you up to date as much as we can.
Today, we spoke to the Weather Channel expert. We also spoke to Rob Roger from the Rural Fire Service. And, you know, the warnings keep coming at this time of the year, but they've just come a little bit earlier. But the high winds are the problem. They also had, I think, some reports of lightning strikes as well. So, I mean... You know, you couldn't ask for a better combination, unfortunately, to start.
And look, we've just walked out in T-shirts. Feels like the middle of summer out here today in Sydney. 27 degrees today. So, yeah, good luck to all the firefighters. Most certainly. All right, it's time now for the morning show. Larry, Kylie, good morning to you guys.
Morning. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your morning show today for you. We're going to bring you all the latest from New York Fashion Week, see all of the new styles from the catwalk, plus all of the A-listers in the front row.
Plus, the boomerang generation, why it's becoming harder than ever to get the kids to leave the nest.
Then, they're back. Aussie rockers Eskimo Joe are in to perform live.
And does this sound familiar?
I'm your daddy. I'm not your daddy.
Ahead, why flirting, or trying to, is disastrous for your intelligence, particularly if you're a bloke. The new research shortly.
Great show for you today. Well, it's TV's biggest party where the stars of primetime come out to shine in all their glory. And this year's Emmys certainly didn't disappoint.
Yeah, the 63rd Annual Awards brought a host of surprise winners and losers. Now, with all the goss from the ceremony, we're joined by Sunrise Showbiz editor Nelson Aspen live in Hollywood. G'day, Nelson. The highlights for you of the evening?
It was so much fun. You're running into old friends, meeting new ones, deciding I'm going to strand myself on an island with Christina Hendricks and Ian Somerhalder and maybe just never come back. As for the ceremony itself, watch this.
The Emmy Awards are all about celebrating the magic of television. And what better way than through a song by host Jane Lynch.
Where patients are cured in an hour by doctors who work once a week. Where invisible elves fill the air with laughter every time you speak.
Oh, I hate it when musical numbers come through our apartment.
And she kept the momentum going throughout the whole ceremony with the sort of classic one-liners alter ego Sue Sylvester would be proud of.
A lot of people are very curious why I'm a lesbian. Ladies and gentlemen, the cast of Entourage.
When the awards kicked off, it was obvious one show was really on a roll.
Julie Bowen, Modern Family!
Ty Burrell. Michael Allen Spiller, Modern Family. Modern Family. Welcome back to the Modern Family Awards.
Downton Abbey was another surprise success, nominated for 11 awards and taking out a total of 4.
This is really a David and Goliath story.
When it came time to announce the Best Comedy Actress, all nominees took to the stage as if they'd already won.
I just want to say, girls, everyone is a winner. Melissa McCarthy!
Holy smokes! Wow, it's my first and best pageant ever.
Keep an eye on McCarthy. Could an Oscar nomination await for her role in Bridesmaids? When it came to the acceptance speeches, some were heartfelt.
Oh, look, I really did win it!
Others were funny.
Oh, I don't know what I'm going to talk about in therapy next week now.
There were the emotional,
I'm sorry, I'm a crier.
the just plain odd,
I would like to thank my dog sitter, whose name is Kitty.
and of course, the long-winded.
Thank you so much to the Academy for this honor, and to the women in this category, it's a privilege to be among you. To everyone at CBS, to my fearless producers, Ridley and Tony Scott, and my stellar cast, thank you so much. Thank you.
But the speech of the night went to Aussie actor Guy Pearce.
This was really a delightful experience making Mildred Pierce. I got to have sex with Kate Winslet many, many times. Thank you for allowing me to insert myself into your world of Mildred.
Host Lynch lost out in her category.
There are losers, and I am one. And it hurts. It doesn't feel good. And if I didn't have to host the rest of the show, well, I'd be home by now eating a tub of turkey meatballs in the dark. I would.
Charlie Sheen made an appearance and even had a special message for the cast of 2.5 Men.
We spent 8 wonderful years together, and I know you will continue to make great television.
While replacement Ashton Kutcher made light of the situation.
And I am not Charlie Sheen. And John, I want to tell you something. I do not think that you are a troll.
Oh, thank you.
The Amazing Race took out the gong for Best Reality Show, but the most nominated show of the night, Mad Men, seemed to have fallen off the radar until the last minute, when it was again awarded Most Outstanding Drama Series.
And the Emmy goes to Mad Men.
Then, disaster. Gwyneth Paltrow took to the stage to announce the final award and...
Okay, the prompter's down, so I'm gonna wing it.
Luckily, no script was needed to predict the overall